Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, no longer. Los Angeles, California, to be pseudo-specific. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is August 27, 2025. In this right here, the program is called the TNAM Daily Show, as you'll see up in the corner of your screen. Brought to you by, right here, the New American Media, in the corner of your screen. On today's show, we're going to discuss the horrific Minnesota Catholic Church school attack. I think I'm saying that properly. 20 people have been attacked. So we will unpack. Also, Tulsi Gabbard has unveiled evidence in the 2020 so-called election. What do we know about that? Kathy Hochul, has she gone MAGA? As we're realizing, 9 days without a murder in D.C., you mean all it took was paying attention and doing the job? Oh, you mean not defunding and keeping people off the street? Maybe keeping people on the street will lead to increased safety? Wow. Go figure. You mean if you canvass your neighborhood and ask, are there any problems around here? And they can all tell you, yeah, it's that guy in the corner right there. It's the guy in the yellow car. Yeah, it's a dude that lives in that house around the corner. It's that guy right there, the homeless guy. Everyone knows. Everyone knows who's causing all the problems. All you had to do was ask. And all you had to do was give a shit about your city and you could fix it up and clean it up. Also, what is going on over in Europe? You saw the picture of the girl holding two stabby things. People are getting attacked, whether it's in a church or as a 12-year-old on your walk back home from a migrant, an invader. Call it what it is. You're going to come from one country, go into a new country, and try to abuse the 12-year-old girls in that country. What do you call that? You don't call that a tourist. You don't call that someone on a work visa. You call that an invader. You call that a fucking Viking. Looting and pillaging like a pirate off the coast of Africa. Looting and pillaging like a marauding band of vandals in an apocalyptic society. It's like something out of Walking Dead. Bunch of zombies, just blah. What do you do? What is England going to do? What is all of... Because where's that girl from? Is she Irish or she was... Well, we'll get to the story. It's something over there in the UK. But these are all the stories people are talking about. We're going to dump all the stories onto the table, shake up the news, and discuss all of the interesting tidbits that there are to be had. So pull on up. Let me get the chat up here on the screen. Hello, Marion. Hello, Kenneth. Hello, John. And hello, everybody else. Hit like, hit subscribe, and jump into the chat as we begin today's show right about now.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
Thank you all for joining me today. Let's get to the news. All these real stories, and I'm going to lead with Joe Biden's a robot. Oh, the algorithm. You notice any similarities here? We said this version of Biden, and we mean this version of Biden. He walked like C-3PO. Yes, it did, was our comment. Here we go. I gotta mute it. Do you see any similarities into how they're walking? Even like, what is the thumb doing? It looks like the comment, if it was a robot, they should have made it a little smarter. Do you think this was just Obama's third term from the shadows? Says this other commenter. One is controlled by artificial intelligence. The other one is controlled by absent intelligence. Yeah, the hands. So weird on that. I just had to mute it. This non-music might be something I'll get a copyright claim on. It's the worst. All right, moving on. Oh no, this story's not available. Let's hit refresh. Whack job Tiffany Cross insists that Stephen Miller is what? And claims it's journalist integrity to say such a thing? Oh, this should be interesting. Sounds like someone's ready for a lawsuit. Take a listen.
Because anytime that we play something from Stephen Miller, it would be journalistic integrity to point out that he is a white supremacist and he is the brainchild behind this policy. That's not my opinion. That's actual fact.
That's an actual fact. You can measure it. That's an actual fact.
And for him to purport lies from the Oval Office as a white supremacist,
I don't know.
it should be pointed out.
Look,
It's reporting Washington Wall Street Journal's own reporting.
I want to address what he's
really quickly, Abby, because anytime
that's an actual fact. All right, so let's see if Stephen Miller sues her. That's a crazy thing to say. This is awful. Turn away if you're the squeamish. This is just. Look, I put out a short yesterday on the YouTube channel. By the way, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell on our YouTube channel. And we're getting closer to eligibility for our super chats. So where do what page am I on? Let's get out of here. The number of pennies we need in the wishing well. Remember when we needed a bunch of pennies in the wishing well? We're in striking distance now. We're in striking distance. 397 pennies in the wishing well. Each penny is 1 hour of content watched on YouTube with at least one click of volume for the New American Media channel. And we have 1,900 videos to choose from. Please just let some play on an extra phone, on an extra tablet, on a television. Go to the YouTube app and go to the New American Media and watch some stuff. Let it play in the background. So then we can become eligible for the super chats, and then we can become eligible for advertising again. That would be clutch. By the way, programming notes. I'm giving you time to get away, and I'll warn you right before I play the video. It's a little tough, but some nice content that we're going to be coming back with is going to be Strictly Football Season 2 with Brian Engelman, that's me, Mike Barra, that's he, and also Jim Mitchell. Myself, Mike Barra, and Jim Mitchell will be joining us on Strictly Football Season 2. We did about 24 episodes last season. So here's the date. Here's the time. This is what we're going to try to stick to. Tuesday night, 6 p.m. It's not perfect for me. It's not perfect for Mike. We're gonna try this. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to try to keep it at this time. Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, Strictly Football. Mike Barra, Jim Mitchell, and myself talking all things football. And I think a little later on today, we're going to try to do an episode of the Unhappy Hour Sports Show with Izzy, talking about what we learned in the preseason. By the way, if anyone is interested, since we're talking about the Unhappy Hour, see, these are the two different coasters. I kept telling you about the circle one, but I didn't have one in front of me. Now I have it. These are wooden, Ohio-made, laser etched and burned, whatever process it was. It was like it etched them or burned them by laser. 4 thick coasters per pack. They're 30 a pack, or 2 for $50. That includes shipping. And if you want to get one of these limited edition, the Unhappy Hour pins, those are $25. If anyone's interested in doing such a thing, let me put it up on the screen, the place to do so. Just shoot us, toss something in our tip jar on Venmo or Cash App or PayPal. Venmo and Cash App are just my name, Brian Engelman. And PayPal, the email address to use is fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. All scrolling at the bottom of your screen. 75 for all 3, 25 for the pin, 30 for one set, or 50 for both sets. If you want it, just put your address in the memo. Put your address in the memo. And we will ship that out to you. Just tell us which one you want. All right. Okay, we're going to play this video. This is tough, but America, the world is under attack. There's no doubt about it. People have been pre-positioned in sovereign nations to just cause chaos and commit as much crime as possible. We've been witnessing it for years, and people have been asleep at the switch. But thankfully now, because President Trump has gone into Los Angeles to settle things down with the National Guard, going into D.C. to settle things down with the National Guard, we're on 9 days now without a murder in D.C. 9 days now. That shouldn't be an accomplishment. We shouldn't be patting ourselves on the back going, wait a minute, how often were you guys killing each other? Well, too damn often. Too damn often. And the answer of, well, we'll just, if we arrest a bad guy, we'll just let him right back out. What could go wrong? Everything goes wrong when you let the bad guys back out. 95% of the problems are committed by 5% of the people. You get rid of the worst, and guess what? 95% of your problems are gone. And yeah, that might mean that you keep going after the top 5%, of course. The worst of the worst, and you grab them, you get them the hell out of there. And if people are working through addiction or something, and they're trying to get their lives on track, yeah, let's work with those people to get them back into regular society. Maybe employ them with the Park Service or the city beautification bureaus, and just say, look, we'll give you a place to stay. Here's an apartment. You can rent it from us. You can work with us. Here's a place to it's not much, but it's safe. It's clean. It's a place to lay your head and get a hot shower and make a meal. And you can work with us and help clean this damn city up and get you up on your feet. Maybe you can work your way up and become a supervisor. Maybe you could move into something else, or just train people to work doing the landscaping and doing this, working on the road crews. All it takes is all it takes is a little bit of effort to clean up half of the problems. The other 45%, yeah, that could be tough work, of course, but simply caring is one of the biggest parts of the equation there. All right, Colin Rugg reporting a 21-year-old Syrian, you can call him an immigrant or an illegal alien invader, has been arrested for cutting an American model's nose in half after the Americans stepped in to protect 2 women from...
This man was the victim of a crazed Syrian asylum seeker who stabbed him when he tried to stop the man assaulting a woman on a tram. The American model had been on holiday in the German city of Dresden and stepped in to stop the migrant harassing the woman.
If y'all didn't think that Europe had an immigration problem, especially Germany, let me drop some knowledge on you. It is 11:57 right now. In 3 minutes, that man that assaulted that young woman yesterday will be released from custody.
Why?
He'll be released from custody because he's not a citizen of Germany. He's not a citizen of the EU, for that matter. He doesn't even belong in here. He's an immigrant, an illegal one, a drug dealer, and very popularly known here, especially by the police. This is not the first time this has happened. It's not the first time that man had beat up women, and it's not the first time that the other guy decided to take a swing at my face with a 6-inch blade. If they could do this to the people of Germany and then just get released 12 hours later, even less at this point, where's the law? Where's the structure? If the Germans are held to that law and that structure, but these people could just come in, swing knives, and hurt, abuse, terrorize, and oppress citizens of Germany.
This man was...
They released him due to lack of evidence after initially arresting the Syrian. After the story went viral and new evidence came forward, the Syrian immigrant was rearrested. Just why are you calling him an immigrant? Identified as Majid A. Huh? Now that further investigation results are available, the 21-year-old Syrian who was briefly in police custody August 24th is also under strong suspicion of having been involved in the knife attack of the American and having injured the victim with a dangerous object, a police statement read. The injury to the face, the cut to the nose, it severed my nose in two and part of my lip here. Rudat, the American tourist, John Rudat, 21 years old, left with a nasty gash after protecting the women on a German tram. It just nicked the eyelid, just a centimeter off, and I would have lost my eye for sure. Certainly I'll have a scar, but you know, it was worth it, and I'll wear it with pride. Comment here, good on the kid, raised right. Such a shame the assailant will face no justice. A lot of that going on here in Canada, too. Kayla say, now I see why Poland blocks people like this coming from their country. Military-aged, fighting-aged men from Syria. Fighting-aged men being dumped into your community from parts unknown, purpose unknown, funding unknown, criminal history unknown, mental capability unknown. Who the fuck would allow any of this? And who the fuck would let these monsters back out? They said lack of evidence. Okay. All right, cool story. Maybe. Maybe. But there's been a nationwide epidemic of letting monsters act as monsters. I don't know how this started. I don't know why. Is it Soros? Because Soros was supposed to be the #1 story today. But we'll get to it. Let me also put up on the bottom of the screen here, switch away from our virtual tip jar. Cletus, the slack-jawed Hochul. Brian is freezing off and on my end. Oh, you're saying that the feed is freezing? Let me run an internet speed test. Let's see where we're at. Because we have had... Man, my megabits a second upload is not very fast. Huh. It's not great. Is anyone else having any streaming problems? We've had scheduled disruptions with the electric company, with the internet company. So many issues in the studio over all the years. All right. But yeah, all the places at the bottom of the screen, please make sure you're following us. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Truth Social, Rumble, Odyssey, Twitch, Kick, DLive, and YouTube at The New American Media. Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM Chat. We're on X at American_Media_. And subscribe to our podcast, The Agree to Disagree Show, on Spotify and Apple. All right, David Harris Jr. here saying, huge. Tulsi Gabbard confirms the discovery of hidden... What? Tied to the 2020 election? All right, here we go. Our question is, so are these plants? Was this done to frame someone by making it look like it was hidden, or hidden so MAGA couldn't ever find it? I'm sort of confused.
And you've also found many bags of information. I think they call them burn bags. They're supposed to be burned, and they didn't get burned, having to do with how corrupt the 2020 election was. And when will that all come out?
Mr. President, I will be the first to brief you once we have that information collected. But you're right, we are finding documents literally tucked away in the back of safes in random offices in these bags and in other areas, which again speaks to the intent of those who are trying to hide the truth from the American people.
Yeah, also, where are all the real January 6th stuff? Remember when the committee looked into stuff and then they destroyed evidence to hide their evidence of their crimes? Where's all that evidence?
And trying to cover up the politicization that was led by people like John Brennan and James Clapper and others that have caused really immeasurable harm to the American people and to our country.
Great job. Thank you. We look forward to hearing it. The public looks forward. Thank you very much. And you've also found many bags of.
I'll put that. So were the bags meant to frame Trump? Or were they just hidden, hoping they would never be found? I'm confused on this story, so we'll keep our eyes peeled as we dig into it. All right, Trump holds a cabinet meeting. And this one could end up being very important, because at HHS, we've been able to find a spike in autism in children. And in September, we're going to be announcing some of the new findings to America.
That's great, Bobby. Bobby, autism, if I could just, I don't want to go too long because we have a lot of people, but the autism is such a tremendous.
I don't want to go too long because we got a lot of people saying, Bobby, give us the Cliff Notes version. Bobby, you can talk about autism for days. In fact, I think it's one of your favorite topics. I don't know why, but maybe that explains the whale carcass or the bear. What were you doing, Bobby? A lot of people say, Bobby, you had a bear in the park. It doesn't make sense. You're on the flight with Epstein, but not with Epstein. And you want to talk autism all day. So keep it quick. Or as Bill O'Reilly would say, keep it pithy.
Tremendous horror show what's happening in our country and some other countries, but mostly our country. How are you doing on that?
We are doing very well. We will have announcements as promised in September. We're finding certain interventions now that are clearly, almost certainly causing autism. And we're going to be able to address those in September.
It's such a big day. I'm looking forward to that day because there's something wrong when you see the kind of numbers that you have today versus 20 years ago. And those numbers, what are those numbers, Bob?
Well, in 1970, the biggest epidemiological study in history was done in Wisconsin. They looked at 900,000 children, and they were looking for autism. They knew what it looked like, and they were very, very precise about it, and they found an incident rate of 0.7, in other words, less than 1 per every 10,000 children. Today, our most recent numbers are 1 in every 31 kids. It's probably actually much worse than that because California, which has the best collection system, is reporting 1 out of every 19 children, American children, has autism, 1 in every 12.5 boys. So it's gone from less than 1 in 10,000 in 1970 to 1 in 12.5 boys.
Think of those numbers.
That doesn't even make sense. And we've just decided we're not going to dig into this as a nation. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares?
So there has to be something artificially causing this, meaning a drug or something. And I know you're looking very strongly at different things, and I hope you can come out with that as soon as possible.
We will.
So 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 31 or 34 or 12 if it's a boy. Can you imagine that? 1 in 12. That's for a boy.
1 in every 12.5 boys.
It's not even believable that
No,
could
it's
be.
not even believable.
And that was 1 in 10,000 not so long ago. I've been hearing these numbers, and they get worse and worse every year. There's got to be something. I think there's nothing, including favored nations and everything else, there's nothing that can be, if you can find out the reason that that's happening, and I know we're gonna do some things. I think we maybe know the reason, and I look forward to that press conference, to be with you on that press conference. That's going to be a great thing. Thank you, Bobby. You're doing a great job. That's great, Bobby. Bobby,
You know, It's been said during this disclosure period. Oh my gosh, what Trump is doing all these revolutionary things and getting all this information. How did he put this all together? Can you believe all the stuff coming out? And people are, one of the comments I keep going back to is, well, it's always been this way. This stuff has always been out there. It's always been available to know. It's just a matter of who do you put in charge. You want to put some guy dressed up as a girl to say, look at me, I have representation now. Huh? Can you fuck off with your representation? The job is Health and Human Services. I'm hearing that 1 in 12 boys are being diagnosed with autism. Can you do the job? Health and Human Services. It's a human service protecting our health of our boys. Tell me about that. I don't want to. I don't want to hear about your fetishes. I don't want to hear about gender dysphoria. I don't want to hear about what you got going on with that. That is not the most important issue here. You do you. Great. Talk about the job. Why is autism this high? I mean, how long has it been since you felt like you had people, Tulsi Gabbard, looking into the stuff that needs to be exposed? It's a little slow, but we're waiting on Cash. Bongino's been very quiet, by the way. During that Epstein thing, Bongino really he got quiet, and it was rumored it was either Pam Bondi goes or he goes. Then they brought in a new assistant. I don't know what they call it, assistant deputy attorney general or whatever the technical title is. Curious to see what happens with Bongino. But it does appear to be a prevalent theme, suspicion, that the stuff that was left behind about Epstein was a trap. It was a deep state Democrat trap. Oh, you want to release this? Well, guess what? We've scrubbed our evidence and we've framed you for a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of chatter that that's what was uncovered. So when I hear about burn bags with the 2020 election, I'm like, were they leaving things behind, hoping you wouldn't find them? Wink, wink. Is that what it's about?
Autism, if I could just, I don't want to go too long because.
So anyway, it just feels nice to have Bobby Kennedy putting this stuff out there and Tulsi Gabbard. We've known about all of these problems for a long time, but now we have the people in charge who are addressing the main issues, which I'm very excited for. DC crackdown results. 2 missing children have been recovered. Fuck yeah. Now this, I like this. This is the gamification of law enforcement. Gamification. Turned it into a game. Yahoo just did that. Hey, would you like to play our game where you delete as many files as possible, or else we're going to shut down your email address and it'll no longer work? Yeah, that's what I feel like doing. I feel like playing a game. To be fair, though, every time something goes sideways, sometimes it can be a blessing in disguise, and I did find some music that my brother wrote. I don't know if I'm able to play you that music. I should upload that song. I'm going to do it. I'm going to upload that song. In fact, I'm going to put it up today. Upload Chris song. Just so it's on the record somewhere. Just so it's sitting around. All right. So the gamification of law enforcement has begun. 2 missing children have been found. Heck yeah. Known gang members have been arrested. 6 of them. 49 homeless encampments cleared. My understanding is they're also getting help. The people in homeless encampments are getting the opportunity for help. Is that true or false? It's my understanding. I certainly hope it is. Illegal guns seized, 111. Hey, missing children found, homeless encampments cleared. That's winning. We're big fans of the gamification of releasing stats like this. Finding 2 missing kids trumps everything else. But those 49 homeless encampments are amazing. Can we confirm if the people in those camps are receiving substance abuse and mental health assistance? Can we prioritize either? How do you spell prioritize? Oh, ETIZE. Can we prioritize either committing these people or getting them back on their feet again? So I have questions about that. 49 homeless encampments is fantastic because your city rots from the inside out when you allow it. But what's happening to the people? I want to follow up on what's happening with those people. All right. Dinesh D'Souza showing us a group of liberals protesting the fact that there hasn't been a murder in D.C. in 10 days. By the way, I'm waiting for YouTube to give me a copyright strike because this woman's banging on a pot in a pan. Like, is this a mental health day? Like, is this recess at the clinic for adults with developmental disorders? Which is fine. If, like a special like a music project or something where they're all getting together at the park and playing their instruments and the whistles. It seems like this is adult recess at a developmental disability clinic, right? Everybody solo. Free DC from murder. Well, guess what? Trump has.
Free DC. Free DC.
I've been at these things and it's so weird. Literally banging on pots and pans. This seems like a skit where adults with developmental disabilities are taken to the park by the music teacher, so everybody could solo at once. Yeah, always middle-class people who live in safe neighborhoods. Wimpy whites, as I call them. What is this? Mostly old white liberals that don't live in D.C. How do these people convince themselves that this is even remotely honorable? Free D.C. from Democrats. There's another good comment. Yes. TDS to the max. Who's paying these people, right? Paid protesters. Someone needs to come get their grandparents. Oh, this is so cool. I'll play you a second of this since I was I don't think this would be copyright because this is just kids playing. Oi, with the noise. Oh, you think that was noise? Enjoy this. Do we? Well, This is some performance of something. It's like bucket drumming, and this is neat. This is shared on TNAM Music, the New American Media. Yes, we do music content. Not a lot. We do our daily show, but when we find something awesome, this is like a palate cleanser. It's like a bite of ginger in between your sushi. It cleanses the palate. It hits the taste buds. It sets you back on a reset. Lights are off in the neon. Pretty neat. I'm just enjoying the heck out of it. I'm a drummer. Anyone else find this cool? Pretty great. I thought that was great. TNAM Music. See what we put out there. Just put like the spinning. It's very hypnotic. Kenneth saying I need a reaction video of you listening to some music I sent. Yeah, I've been thinking more and more about reaction videos recently. Maybe I will, Kenneth. Maybe I will. I don't even know if I want them on my other channel because I don't want them to get rid of my own music. It's just so stupid what the way they handle copyright stuff. It's so stupid. If someone's covering your song or like doing a reaction video, you're just advertising that you should go buy that album. Go see that artist when they come around. Like, it's just advertising. Anyway. All right, so I'm not sure how familiar you are with the story. Wrestlers at Knox Pro, Raja Jackson. Let me get an update on that from Grok. How is the victim? Raja Jackson. This was during a wrestling match. Stuart Smith, Psycho Stu, in stable but critical condition after the incident at Knox Pro Wrestling in Los Angeles, August 23. He's conscious and has some recollection of the events from the day of the attack. sustained severe injuries, including a broken facial bones and lost teeth, and faces a difficult recovery ahead. GoFundMe has been set up by his wife, Contessa, to support his recovery, and he remains in critical care. LAPD is investigating. No arrests have been made as of recent reports. But this guy was absolutely, this is not wrestling. Like,
but the most disgusting thing is that people at this school are being encouraged to not cooperate with the police. From what I hear, the police were there investigating the scene shortly after Stu was removed, and there has been multiple requests that have gone downstream from upper management to not talk with the police directly if they are contacted, and to only let a certain group of individuals interact with the police. That is extremely dishonest. You guys let your friend almost die, and now you're trying to have people lie for you. And f*** you to every single person who replied to them, yes, sir. You are all weak sacks of shit, and I hope you rot in hell. You are wasting oxygen that other people could be breathing. But the most disgusting thing is that people at this school are being encouraged to...
It was like 23 punches to an unconscious man. That's crazy. Whipped him down off the rope or off the shoulders or whatever the move was and cracked his head. He was unconscious, and it was just punching to the face, losing teeth and breaking facial bones. Like, it was... Where was the ref to step in? I don't understand. 23. It took way too long to get this guy off of that guy. Yeah, all right. I'll put it on the thing. Music reaction videos. I had a couple in mind. I've been thinking about doing that. But keep your eyes peeled. LAPD still hasn't made an arrest. Hopefully soon. Babylon B with some humor. Yeah. There's your vibe check. That'll get the vibes up. A little humor. They're showing a picture of Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Babylon B says, human trafficker says it's inhumane to be trafficked to another country. Ah. Oh, you hate to see it. Uganda, perhaps. Hey, maybe we can ship Jamie Raskin to Uganda. Check this out. He's opposed to Trump cracking down on crime because... Huh?
And the military is not supposed to be used for ordinary law enforcement.
This is not ordinary.
Purposes. In D.C., he was talking...
These cities have become war zones, and you know it.
About cleaning up the graffiti and, you know, dealing with the blight of homelessness.
And like I said, I really want the homeless. The one, if you can get them off the drugs, you know, you got to commit people that are out of their minds. But if people can get off drugs and they can get on the streets, like put them to work painting over graffiti, using the power sprayer to clean up human filth, clean up the sidewalks, clean up the streets, clean up the roads, clean up the buildings. It's a great idea.
Which are obviously local, not federal issues. And he's trying to militarize our society, intimidate its political...
No. I think what's happening is you've tried to militarize these big Democrat cities to intimidate people as Democrat strongholds. See, the Democrats will accuse you of what they're actually doing. They're very good at this. So they have their brown shirts. They have their fingers into all of the organized criminal activity going on in these areas. They just don't like that it's being stopped now. They don't like that their residents aren't going to live in fear, because if they can't peddle fear, Democrats have nothing.
Opponents, the whole idea of picking cities based on their partisan leadership is absurd. I mean, there are lots of Republican cities and towns struggling with crime. Everybody is across the country. Always, crime has always been part of our history, and yet crime is down. In D.C., for example, it's at a 30-year low. It's down in Baltimore. It's down in Chicago. But the point is that in our system of federalism, the different branches of government and the different departments of government are supposed to work together. If Donald Trump thinks he's got some great ideas for Chicago or Miami or Houston, Texas, or whatever, he should call a summit for the White House. And
see, you love how he did that? Did you catch what he did there? He doesn't like that it's going into the blue states, Illinois, DC. Well, it's a district, but Los Angeles, California, You hear how slimy these motherfuckers are? I fucking hate Jamie Raskin so much. Fucking weasel. God, these fucking weasels, dude. Yeah, so if he wants to go where Governor Greg Abbott is or where Ron DeSantis is, then, okay, if he's got some great ideas for Miami or Austin, just stay the hell out of California, stay the hell out of Portland, stay the hell out of Seattle, stay the hell out of San Francisco. I know that's California. I was going from cities to states. Chicago, New York. Stay out of Democrat strongholds is what he's saying. Fucking weasel. Imagine somebody thinking it's okay for your grandparents, the grandparents of your community, to not be safe walking up and down the streets, going up to the corner store and coming back on the sidewalk. That's what this guy is saying. Your children should not be safe in this community. Crime's always been a thing. Hey, you got some good ideas. Why don't you go take it to a red Republican state? It's just, gaslighting at its finest. Exactly, Marion. Stay out of Riverdale. Where did that come from? Are you saying Raskin talks like, what is that from? That's Archie Comics? Are you saying I was saying something like that? Where's the Riverdale comic coming from? But I jumped right into character and played along either way.
Say, hey, here's some ideas where the feds can work together with states and localities, not have a series of rolling National Guard invasions.
Invasions. Yeah, guess what? We're never letting Democrats burn America down like they did all during 2020. You got it? You need to have some sort of operational presence for the big cities when the Democrats try to do this again, because this is their pattern, their routine. They keep doing this because nobody's stopping them. And it keeps getting bigger because nobody's stopping them. The invasion of sovereign nations keeps happening because nobody's stopping them. The criminals keep recommitting. The recidivism rate is through the roof because nobody's stopping them. You dump them right back on the streets.
Of people's cities. And the
you don't hate Democrats enough. You're saying, all right, Christopher Rufo here. Trying to set the record straight about Nixon. Listen to the crowd reaction here and realize that what Obama did was Hiroshima-sized weaponization in spying. Watergate on flippin' steroids. Watergate was pretty much a nothing burger. Oh, there's one of the worst things that could have ever happened. And Nixon was effective. They didn't like that. They took him out. Now all you think, Watergate. Monorail. What Obama did with the was it 4 eyes or five eyes? Spying on the Trump campaign, spying on the American people, Clapper, Comey, Brennan, all of the lies they've told to Congress, violating our Fourth Amendment rights against search and seizure. Okay. Well, anyway, Christopher Rufo talking about Nixon. Interesting crowd reaction. Not unanticipated, but a little weird.
To Nixon, are you now saying that Nixon did nothing wrong and was wrongly pursued?
Yeah, no, I think if you look at the history of Watergate, you see that it was a setup from start to finish. 4 of the 5 Watergate burglars, 4 of the 5 Watergate burglars were connected with the CIA, were connected with the FBI. You had the Judge Sirica, who had...
Nobody ever talks about that. Who's the one they always trot out on the MSNBC? Woodward. He's a CIA asset, right? That's how he's been paid back. Hey, we'll make you famous. Just you got to constantly say it's a threat to our democracy. It's worse than Watergate. It's worse than Watergate, I tells you. Yeah, okay. All right, it's worse than Watergate.
Had backdoor meetings, violating the law, out to get Nixon. And I think, and this will be an unpopular opinion at this table, maybe with this audience, but in time, I think we're going to see Nixon vindicated, and the history around Nixon will be changed.
Watergate was first and foremost a political war between the president, Richard
by the way, I interviewed him. I had a really good interview with this guy, Hugh Hewitt.
Nixon, and the media, which in those pre-cable days meant ABC, CBS, NBC, the New York Times, and the Washington Post. Why? What did the media have against Nixon? That's a complex question, but we can essentially boil it down to three things. One, he was despised by the East Coast liberal elite, of which the Washington Press Corps was a key component. Two, he was a staunch anti-communist. The media considered the communist threat to be overblown. Three, he refused to abandon South Vietnam. Nixon insisted on a peace with honor. The media was entirely anti-war. Even though Nixon spent most of his adult life in New York and Washington, he never fit in. Born in a small town in California, there were no Ivy League degrees on his resume. To make matters worse, while not being a part of McCarthyism, he made his reputation aggressively exposing Alger Hiss.
The commies. Oh, it was a witch hunt. Oh, was it? Or were there a bunch of commies trying to destroy America?
A communist in the U.S. State Department in the late 1940s. After serving as vice president under Dwight Eisenhower for 8 years, he ran against and nearly defeated John F. Kennedy, the paragon of East Coast elitism, in 1960. Then, 8 years later, and much to the media's dismay, Nixon mounted an improbable political comeback to win that year's presidential election. And then, as if rubbing the media's nose in it, he won again in a 49-state landslide in 1972. Something had to be done. The media's aim, in the words of British historian Paul Johnson, was to use publicity to reverse the electoral verdict of 1972. The support of Republican senators far from assured, and deeply concerned that an impeachment trial would paralyze the country in the middle of the Cold War, Nixon was boxed in. He resigned from office on August 9th, the first and only president to do so. The media had its victory and a newfound sense of power. The country has not been the same since.
Okay, by the way, I think you said getting in.
You're saying they did it to Nixon. Are you now saying that Nixon...
Okay. I didn't press play on that. I think what you were talking about, where's the comment? John saying, I haven't heard any news on lately. I wonder how he's doing. It's not Hugh Hewitt. It's Dennis Prager you're thinking of.
You don't do it by selling the country down and having...
So this is me having a conversation with Hugh Hewitt at the 2016 RNC in Cleveland.
People killed. Because, people died as a result of that. But I digress.
It's a little nuanced.
It is a good... Are you a Democrat? Did I sit down to a show with a Democrat?
I used to vote Republican, and I bailed out.
Did you vote for Kasich?
Oh, no, I've been in California for 10 years.
Okay, so what do you think
really
of John?
counts. What do I think of John?
He's a pal. I like him.
I don't necessarily dislike the guy.
Nobody can dislike him.
No, he's...
Having a conversation about John Kasich. Did I sit down with a Democrat? I'm like, no. But I'm MAGA, and you're an MSNBC contributor. Let's keep it. Let's keep it where. Let's turn our cards. I also interviewed Michael Steele. Used to run the RNC, and now he's an MSNBC guy. And you're like, yeah, you were never really Republican. No, I like Hugh Hewitt. He has a. I miss listening to his show. It used to be on the drive time when I was in Los Angeles, and I would check his stuff out. He does a lot of good work, but he's a little more establishment, a little bit more neocon, a little bit more John Kasich. Now I've been a little bit more MAGA, I suppose. But the update, I think what you were saying, no big dope. I talk hours, so many hours, and I meant to say things, and I say things. All right, let me get you the update. Dennis Prager, the conservative radio host and co-founder of Prager University, suffered serious spinal cord injury at the C3 and C4 levels from a fall in November of 24, resulting in paralysis below the neck. As of the latest updates in July 25, he remains paralyzed below the shoulders, but has shown progress in breathing and speaking with his cognitive functions intact. He's undergoing aggressive rehabilitation at a specialized facility, and his condition is described as incomplete, suggesting potential for some recovery. His return to his radio show, initially planned for June of 25, has been indefinitely delayed due to a setback in his recovery. PragerU and his family report that he remains optimistic, receiving excellent care, with supporters encouraged to send get well cards. All right, there you go. Hey, anybody in the chat, go on Grok and say, where do I send a get well card to Dennis Prager? Go shoot Dennis Prager a message on behalf of the TNAM community over here. John brought it up, and if you're willing to take the challenge, there's usually questions of the day. COTD. We'll call this a challenge of the day. Look up. It'll take you 2 seconds. Go to Grok, artificial intelligence. Where do I send a get well card to Dennis Prager? Grab some card. I'm sure you got a box or a drawer that has a bunch of greeting cards in it. Send out a card to Dennis Prager. That would be very nice, actually. All right. Well, yeah, Nixon and all that stuff. A lot of the history we think we understand, we do not understand it. I agree with that completely. Weird story, 473 million. Coast Guard has offloaded a record-breaking amount of drugs off the Florida coast. That's massive. Any questions about the legitimacy of that? I know Scott Adams reported it and was like, all of that on one vessel? Why wouldn't they split that up? Like, really? He's suspicious. I don't know that I necessarily am, but what say you? All right. We got to talk about this. Visas, foreign students, what the heck are we doing?
Let's take the 55 million and say, hey, this is very simple. We're going to cut out half of it. Oh, you can't do that. It'd be terrible. Yeah, the Wall Street guys are going to say there's going to be awful. It's not going to be awful for American citizens. Opportunities are increasing. How about instead of having, there should be no foreign students here for the moment. I'm not saying in perpetuity, but for the moment, until we get our hands around this. Eliminate the H-1B visas immediately. Don't work around the edges and make it. It's all a scam. It's all to drive down wages. It's not to get the Einsteins here. Come on. If you're going to come back and try to pitch it, talk to us like adults. And talk to us on adults on the bottom. I don't know, 10% of them. We're going to, they're going to take all the kids are immediately going to go to Harvard. Well, hey, isn't that a benefit? In the bottom 10% of the schools, then they got to figure it out. They got to figure it out. That's not what will happen. And any foreign student that does come here ought to have an exit visa stapled to his or her diploma to leave immediately. Give them 30 days. We're either going to make this about the American citizen and make the centerpiece the American family and American citizens
everything
that populate that family, or we're not. And that's why I think 26 August, as we go forward, and you think about those 13 kids, and you think about what they were told, and what their parents were told, and what they sacrificed, and what's the deal that they had waiting for them when they came back? What's the deal? You served your country in a foreign land, in some godforsaken hellhole. And what's your deal when you come back? Oh, homelessness and a VA that doesn't work and suicide, PTSD, and no job. We have 12 million tech workers, qualified people that did everything they were supposed to do from their little kids. Let's take the 55 million and say, hey, this is very simple. We're going to cut out half of it. Oh, you can't do that. It'd be terrible. Yeah, the Wall Street guys are going to say there's going to be awful. It's not going to be awful for American citizens.
I didn't even notice the jump cut.
Opportunities are increasing. How about instead of having...
Actually, my eyes were down on my coffee for a second, but I'm listening to it and I didn't hear a cut. Yeah, we can't allow unlimited people to mix into America without checking to make sure we're getting the best and the brightest while filtering the worst monsters from ever coming in. But in addition, we just need to be prioritizing Americans in everything that we do. It's time to prioritize Americans. Oh, all those spots in colleges. We'll put more American kids in. But remove the Marxist indoctrination stuff from it, please. All right. So they were saying that the crime statistics have been massively rigged. Armed citizens stopped 48% of criminal shootings, and the FBI lied about it, according to Ariana Masters.
Just freaking huge. Armed citizens stopped 48% of all criminal shooters last year. And the FBI was just caught massively lying about those numbers in their public reports. They recorded, get this, none of them. 0%. Now, you and I and everyone else have seen those local heroes on social media, but rarely do we ever see these stories in mainstream media. Well, the script is about to flip because a new study by the Crime Prevention Research Center reveals that armed civilians stopped over 1/3 of active criminal shooters between 2014 and 2024, nearly 10 times higher than FBI's reported 3.7% average. And again, with even more Americans getting armed post-2020, just last year alone in 2024, civilians stopped half of all criminal shooters. Yet, as I just stated, the FBI recorded 0 of them. You might be asking, how is this possible? Well, while digging for the study, researchers found,
And by the way, remember what happened to flu numbers during COVID?
that police were often falsely credited instead of the armed civilian, which is a recording pattern that clearly increased over the last 10 years. Now, this begs the question, why would they work so hard to hide the significant benefits of an armed public?
Okay, thinking. That little piece of music could have cost me. Anyway, we need to run a nationwide audit on nationwide crime data. All right.
This is freaking.
Be prepared, because as we saw in Minneapolis, you got to be prepared. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is talking about 600,000 Chinese students potentially coming to America, this debate we're having. She says if colleges and universities go out of business because they no longer receive CCP-approved tuition from students in China, then that's fine. Let trade schools rise to greatness. And then American students will have jobs where they can actually succeed and thrive. I'm going to drop an agree button. Prioritize Americans in all things.
I'm coming.
And here's a debate. This Amanda Seals, they released this video, and just, I don't know what point she's making, but I think she's against most of the people she's talking to on the clips I've watched. And anyway, where do you stand on this?
From a place.
Two women talking to each other about crime.
And I guess my issue is
and it's two black women talking about crime.
Having had my biological father murdered by a black man, having had my cousin shot in the head by a black man, we can talk numbers and statistics and what the people are doing, what the white man is doing and all that. But at the end of the day, I see when my family lives on the south side of Chicago, and I think you and I both can attest to this, and I'm not saying that there are not other factors, but we know that we kill each other at a disproportionate rate than any other race. Now, why we do that and why 6,000 to 9,000 black men are going to be homicided or killed or whatever by the end of the year annually by other black men, whereas the likelihood of a black man being killed by a white police officer is less than 150 per year, we know that we kill each other at a higher rate. So I'm not debating that there are not factors at play, but because I've lived the experience as a black woman losing my father to be murdered by a black man, walking down the street,
by the way.
No worries, thank you. But walking down the street in inner cities and different things, knowing that it's more likely that my own brother will rob and rape me than a white man or a white officer, we got to be real.
What's your proximity to white men in the south side of Chicago? Are there even white men around to rob?
Proximity to white men.
And rape you at the same rate that there are black men?
There are white men around.
At the same rate?
There wasn't a lot of black people in there, but then that doesn't justify the fact that we're destroying each other. So even if we get to the root, like
we can agree on that.
Okay, because I feel like a lot of
nothing
times liberals will argue like, well,
I'm not
the
a
white people
liberal.
are killing
I am
people.
I'm not a liberal.
Okay, well, I will say that people that sometimes have your stance that are
I'm not a liberal. I don't know if that's accurate.
Against conservatives, maybe they have this claim that they're making it up, they're making up the numbers. We know that we do that to each other. So I want to get to the root of the issue. Why are we killing each other? I think the root of the issue is we've lost our values and we've lost our resilience as black people. We sit there and we talk about what the white man did and we talk about slavery and everything like that, but we have no self-accountability and say, you know what, at the end of the day, that is my black grandmother, that is my black sister, you are my black sister, and you know that a black man is more likely to rob you or commit some type of crime against you, and that's what we need to get down to the issue of. And like you were talking talking about earlier, like, hey, well, what's going on? You know, what do you think the answer is to one of the brothers that were speaking? I think it's the breakdown of the family. I think, like he said, because of our poor choices, and what happens is we look at domestic violence, for example. When domestic violence, women or men are even attacked, what is the first thing we say? It's like, you know what? It's not your what? It's not your fault. So that's what we do. We hold on to this narrative that, well, it's not our fault, and the issues in our community are not our fault, and the white man needs to give us something. The old white lady down the street is looking at me, and I don't know why she got braids in her hair. And we focus on all these other stupid things that don't matter. We don't get to the root of the fact that we're killing each other at a higher rate than any other race. It is self-hatred amongst us. I believe that we can do that. That my cousin, my mom's cousin, excuse me, coming from the church parking lot, and guess who stuck her up and robbed her at gunpoint? A black man.
I need you to get to the point.
Like,
so
my
I can
point
respond.
is that, you know.
Yeah, that part made the rounds. I need you to get to the point. Like the comments, it's like, yeah, she had about 4 to 8 very coherent points.
And I'm not trying to be funny, unless, like you said, we're gonna keep it respectful.
Yeah, but you're monopolizing the whole conversation. And
I'm
we're
not
not
trying.
being
Okay, I'm
able
gonna let
to-
you speak. But I'm coming from a place.
So anyway, trying to figure out what's going on in these cities and these communities. I had a nice long chat with Larry Elder about it. If you scroll back on YouTube, like I said, we're doing a challenge on our YouTube channel. What I say, 397 pennies needed in the wishing well. Each hour of content watched is a penny in the wishing well. Please go to the New American Media YouTube. Want to get those, what I say, 397? Those 397 pennies in the wishing well as soon as possible so we can get our super chats enabled. But yeah, you can check out my interview with Larry Elder talking about the breakdown of the black community. He literally wrote the book on it. His name is The Sage of South Central. And by the way, this guy lived in South Central. Well, at least that's what my cable company said when I got the flyer starting my service in my brand new place and went, oh no, I moved into South Central. Oh my God. My name's Engelman, but I know the song Englewood, always up to no good. I'm supposed to live in South Central. What was I thinking? Yeah, Larry Elder is the sage of South Central, and he wrote the book on the breakdown of the black community. Make it make sense. I don't want to see anybody getting harmed in any community. That's my stance. You got a problem with my stance, and I got a problem with you. I don't want to see people getting abused by monsters and junkies and dirtbags and gangbangers. Nope. I want those people locked up. All right. Graham Allen says, what is wrong with these drivers? Got to mute the music here. This trucker drove the wrong way on a major bridge in Tennessee. This heroic officer ran over to remove him from the truck, and he resisted. Has America implemented a nationwide recheck of every CDL on our roads? We need to do this ASAP. So he's in there. He's fighting with this officer, apparently. I don't have an update, but I mean, this is a Tennessee driver. And look, there runs a cop with an AR. He's ready to rock this guy. The guy will not move. So I don't have an update, but they're saying that a trucker drove the wrong way on a major bridge in Tennessee, and a heroic officer ran to remove him from the truck, and he resisted. Raj Transport. We have an epidemic across this country with people who can't speak English, can't read English, can't communicate English, don't know the road signs, shouldn't be on our roads, period. Oh, that's so racist. Against what race? They can't read English. No, that's not a thing. That's sexist. Huh? Now you're just getting, that's phobic. Huh? I guess phobic of dying. I would rather not get smashed into by someone who's texting on his phone like we saw. Or someone that tries to make a U-turn in a big rig, like that's allowable. Yeah, CDL, that needs to stand for can't drive likely. Engle in the hood. Bro, you don't even know. That was quite a thing. I lived in LA for a while. But yeah, it's time to reset America. I think we need to have a nationwide retest. Every CDL driver needs a recheck. All right, here's the breaking news. David Harris put this out. Active shooter reported at Annunciation Catholic Church in Minneapolis. Annunciation. They're reporting 2 fatalities, 4 critical, and at least 20. Let's watch.
Patrol, and closest here, just on the left side of the screen, that looks like a Minneapolis police vehicle, all responding here, kind of shutting down, it looks like, at least this entire block that this church sits on. You said 54th Street.
Yeah, 500 block of 54th Street in Minneapolis, 1 block east of Lindale, if you know that area. And again, if you're headed that way, or have friends, neighbors, or friends or family in that neighborhood, definitely just let them know that something is going on, and they definitely want to stay out of that area. As we are waiting for.
Are you protected when you're out and about? Do you carry? My power was out, and I'm like, shit, for hours, and I'm going, well, it's a good time to test my solar panel stuff, like my solar devices, my recharging devices. It's a great time to test this stuff. Let's give it a shot. Oh, that reminds me. I want to charge a backpack. Picked up a backpack with a charger built into it. And I got a solar panel out, and I want to plug in and get all the devices charged up off of it. It's good to practice these things and think, oh, geez, what if I had to filter water for a day, for a week, for a month? You're like, oh, boy, I better really rethink this. Oh, what if I didn't have lights? Well, I got to charge up on my all these little flashlights and little devices that have solar panels. I made a short on YouTube yesterday. Watch the short. Leave a comment. I think I need to start doing a lot of shorts. I've said that for a while, but I think it's really time to do it now.
More official information to come in.
But do you carry? Do you protect yourself? If you're out and about and you run into a madman, are you going to be ready? Could you be Johnny on the spot? And that's really all the militia ever is just the first responder to something horrific. The only thing that will ever stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. That's it. When seconds count, police are only minutes away. There's 100 ways to have this conversation, but why don't you go out there and make sure that you've gone through your core components? And I couldn't open the refrigerator. Refrigerator was closed. Don't want to let the coolness out, obviously. But then I couldn't eat, and I was like, ugh. So I went into my bug out bag, and I grabbed a thing of jerky. Guess when it was from? Question of the day. Guess. Hey now, don't leave me, it's over. I'm obsessed with that song, and Nick comes in here saying, hey now. Crowded house. Don't dream it's over. Guess what year my beef jerky was from in my backpack that I ate for lunch yesterday? It was Trader Joe's. Was it teriyaki or it was just regular beef? No, it was sweet and spicy. I had beef jerky from 2021. It was good. It was good. I blessed the food. I asked for a blessing. No, not 1996. Nice guess, though. Vintage year. 2019. You were close. You were close. 2019. That's pretty close. I would have still eaten that. I've been accused of being a little too risky with the food that I'll consume. And I'm like, especially beef jerky. It's dehydrated. It's now like the consistency of it, you could tell it was, but it was good. It was almost like it was being rehydrated in my mouth. Anyway, but now I need to put new jerky. In the bag. John said 2022. Yes, it's somewhere between your guess and Marion's guess was sort of right on. Nick Adams. What's up, Nick? Brian, I watched your Joe Biggs interviews. Short and sweet. It was relevant to the flag burning discussion, too. Oh, yeah. See, you just showed up. I'd previously pulled up where I was interviewing Hugh Hewitt at the Republican convention where President Trump accepted his nomination in Cleveland, Ohio, 2016. Do I have the Joe Biggs? Where's the Joe Biggs? Yeah, you know, good luck finding it. Like, I type in Joe Biggs, Brian Engelman, and I can't even find my interview with him. Make that make sense. This is the beauty of YouTube, why they hate us. Oh my gosh. This story. Bobby Rodrigo. Oh boy. Well, now I'm looking for this. I can't. Let me put my name first. You said short and sweet and relevant to the flag burning story. Let me show you a flag burning story now that you brought it up, because that's in the news. I can't. I mean, I literally type in what I'm looking for, and I can't even find it. There's me at the Bundy Ranch interviewing an oath keeper named RJ. Look at that. Let's go side by side. Cowboy hat and all. Out at the Bundy Ranch. God, that was 11 years ago. Hey, there's my chat with Jordan Maxwell. That's a good one from Conscious Life Expo. It's just weird. I put in my name and I can't even find me. Oh, there's me talking with David Wilcock. This was one of the videos that like sort of started the New American Media. Look at that haircut, Brian. Yes, I interviewed Gary Johnson too. But I can't find it. I really can't even find it. That's crazy. So I typed in the New American Media flag burning, and it won't even let me find it. View my channel. Oh, let me try it this way. Yeah, short and to the point.
Hey, Joe. Can I ask you, why is Gary Johnson the wrong choice for the disaffected voter this cycle? We're hearing a lot of that. They don't like either candidate.
Yeah, I don't like him. I think he's a dirtbag. There you go.
Thanks, Joe.
Excuse me. Oh, air conditioning.
There you got it. Joe Biggs thinks Gary Johnson's a dirtbag. And there you go. The throngs will surround.
Yeah, I remember that was a big gaggle around him at the time.
Dude, I'm not a communist bastard. What do you guys want to talk about?
All right, let's give you the story here. What happened with these dirty commies?
All right, so
and the
today,
flag and, yeah.
hold on. Yeah. So today is, or earlier it was Wednesday, July 20th. July 20th, Wednesday.
Hey,
Cleveland.
you're lucky.
It was East 4th Street, right? It was East 4th Street in Prospect, yeah. So we were walking around. We knew there was going to be a flag burning ceremony. And I'm a goddamn veteran, dude. And I served 10 years in the military. I was in the 82nd Airborne, 1st Armored Division, 2 years in Iraq, 2 years in Afghanistan. And I'm not going to fucking let some goddamn communist bastard burn my flag. So I knew this was going to happen. So did I go there looking for something? Yes, I did. I went there looking for the fucking asshole who's going to do it. There was one guy who came out, he was a decoy, and I knew he was a decoy because he fucking came out, distracted everyone, and then walked down the road. And immediately, I looked at my camera guy that was with me, and I said, this is a decoy, we have to leave. We ran back up the road in front of the RNC, and that's where this fucking dumb prick fuck pulled his flag out and burnt my goddamn American flag. And that's when I jumped over the fucking cops, ripped this fucking guy's shirt off and started fucking pounding and fucking setting off the fucking flag. I put it out. burnt my hand in the process. But you know what? I love America. I love all the fucking veterans who fought for America. I'm a veteran, and that fucking communist scumbag deserves to go to hell. Fuck him. Fuck RevCom. Fuck Gregory Joseph fucking Johnson. You fucking dumb piece of shit.
What is RevCom again? What is RevCom?
Revolutionary Communist Party. They're a fucking
And they're
bunch
just
of dumb
trolling this convention.
Who's funding them?
teenagers.
No, they troll everything.
Don't they get paid
They were in Ferguson. They're in Baltimore. They go
it's a
everywhere.
national group. $16 an hour, right?
It's the largest communist party.
Is Soros funding that?
There's a Cleveland
No.
faction or Ohio faction that came in from
This is his name is B.A. Carl Dix and Bob Avakian. Carl Dix and Bob Avakian are the head of the largest communist party in America, and I'm fucking suing them.
I thought that was Hillary.
I stopped it right in the middle of one of my punchlines. I think it was RevComs that I caught burning the flag in DC at inauguration a moment ago.
And Bob Avakian. Carl Dix and Bob Avakian are the head of the largest communist party in America, and I'm fucking suing them.
I thought that was Hillary that's in charge of the largest communist party.
No, I'm bringing down the largest communist party today. You guys are going down. Fuck you.
Welcome to Cleveland.
Yeah. Welcome to Cleveland.
I'm gonna fucking eat your heart. Bob Avakian, suck my fucking dick, dude. I've got to. You know what I came in on in Cleveland? I didn't fly Southwest or United Airlines. I rode a goddamn bald eagle, and I'm gonna fucking rape you.
Mushroom stamp your ass now.
I love it.
I rode a bald eagle.
I did, dude. I'm a bald eagle tamer.
That bald eagle had dreadlocks.
Hey, if you read my Twitter account, it says communist assassin bald eagle tamer. And I didn't put that up tonight. This has been forever. That's what I do.
Wow, that was a blast from the past. That was fun. Thanks for reminding me of that. Let me show you the flag burning that we captured this year. Flag burned, flag saved. America flexes freedom outside of Trump inauguration in DC. Let me share this. Discussed on today's episode of the TNAM Daily Show. We'll put this out on X. Oh, wait a minute. What is this here? Well, I'm finding something that they're saying might be a manifesto from the person who did the shooting today. I'm always slow to jump in on this. I'll share it and I'll ask Grok. Is this confirmed or debunked? They're saying this is an 11-minute video posted by the psychotic school shooter today.
You didn't ask for death. Laugh and love. El Sociedad.
What am I watching? Mira me means look at me.
Well, you're here. For the emergency exit. Pop it through the hand. I'll eat you.
Suck on this. Where's your gun? F everything that you stand for. Huh. Sponsored by BlackRock. Yeah, this guy's all over the place. All right. Don't know what that is, but people are sharing it. That's breaking now. All right. Check this out. I got one of the more interesting flag burning things that you'll see in a long time. This is inauguration in DC. Buy our new flag fried burgers at the New Cliff. This is Washington, D.C. Inauguration time. Let me jump right to it. Nope, that was past it. Okay, I think these are RevComs. Sort of their go-to stunt.
Humanity, we refuse to accept fascist America. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America.
We're gonna Dukes the Hazzard.
In the name
our
of
hood.
humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America.
Here you go. He jumps in and grabs it. He grabs the flag. He's not letting him light it. And they're fighting over it, and they're doing it quickly.
Yes, sir! USA!
It's so cold. Look at this fucking guy. Hey, I got the flag right here, buddy.
Would you be willing to answer a couple questions for us?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. What's your name, David? Where do you come from? Georgia. Okay.
The dude that grabbed the flag. I need to cook this.
They've already burned it.
So flag burning being protected speech, but it's super disrespectful. How do you draw the line?
Well, I mean, that might be their constitutional right, but I don't care. I stand for that flag, and if I can do anything to stop it from being destroyed, I will. And I mean, I wasn't able to stop that one.
And I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Garrison Conley.
Garrison Conley. Where'd you come in from?
Georgia.
Georgia. What brought you?
Well, I wanted to see. We had gotten tickets from our congressman to see the inauguration outside, but unfortunately, he's moved inside. So now we're just here for the events.
That's a lot of people trying to figure out where to go during this.
Yeah.
What are you most excited for in the next 4 years coming out of the last Biden term?
I'm most excited about the inflation coming back to normal, and we actually can go and spend $100 at the grocery store and fill up our grocery cart.
Gas prices, food prices.
This is my wife, Brooke.
Hi.
Hi, what was your name?
Brooke.
Brooke, nice to meet you. My name's Brian.
America is great again.
Well, it's about to start. I mean, were you surprised by all the pardons from Biden, getting Fauci and Rich Cheney? And
I'm not surprised. But pardoning Fauci, that just goes to show you that just confirms that he was up to illegal stuff, and they're just trying to cover his butt.
Just confirms the deep state.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We were in the arena last night. Did you happen to go in, see this?
We did not.
We didn't go.
Well, Trump was kind of hinting at all the things he's going to do, about 100 executive orders.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're most, obviously fixing inflation, but any executive orders, like he said, releasing the JFK files and MLK files and all sorts of stuff?
The border.
Oh, the border, absolutely.
Also bringing the J6, all of the people that were captured in J6, bringing home, all of the people that are over at the stuff in Gaza and Palestine, all of those, everything that he says he's going to do, he's going to do, and he has already started doing, and he's not even been inaugurated yet.
Right.
So here we go. Let's go. Bring it on.
All right, final point. To the people that are angry today, and maybe they don't understand exactly where MAGA's coming from, let me ask you this specifically. To the people that are upset, call them fascist, and they don't like deportations and all that, can you give them a message to kind of let them know that we might not be on the opposite team?
Just stay tuned and we'll pray for you.
Exactly. We'll pray for you.
Thank you so much, people.
Thank you.
Stay tuned and we'll pray for you. But yeah, that was an interesting moment right there.
Refuse to accept a fascist America.
You think the hell you are. And Brooklyn did the same thing. Real American voice. All right. Well, thanks for reminding me about that. That was a fun sidebar. Anyway, they've reported we went sidetracked on this, but yeah, 2 kids, age 8 and 10, have been taken from us, 17 injured, 14 of whom were children. 16 kids, 2 in critical condition. The shooter, who had a rifle, shotgun, pistol, died from a self-inflicted wound in the parking lot. Calls the act absolutely incomprehensible, noting it was a deliberate attack on innocent people, no motive established. The suspect, no extensive criminal history. Violent 24-hour period in Minneapolis, marking the 4th deadly shooting in the city. Let's ask if a manifesto was released. By the way, please share our show today. Grab a share link for YouTube and toss it out there on X or Facebook or something. Copy the share link and text it to a couple people, a couple smart friends. See if anyone wants to jump in. No official released, manifesto released video allegedly posted by the shooter hours before the attack surfaced, showing someone flipping through a manifesto. Authenticity not verified. So investigation's ongoing. We're in the 72-hour rule. Let's try not to have any super concrete opinions on the matter because we don't know what's going on. MK Ultra? Yeah, I don't know.
If you end up seeing information on social media.
But also, just this is a circuitous route to cover this story. It's just a good reminder. Protect yourself, protect your family. Make sure you have tools at your disposal where you happen to be. Whether that's different places in your house, in your car, on your person. Make sure you have the capability to stop a madman. Try not to let it rule your day, but also don't slip. Don't catch yourself slipping.
Or you hear, goodness, yeah, you can see the line of law enforcement there on that street. A lot of times in situations like this, early on, you'll hear certain terms, and one of them is, sometimes you hear a mass casualty event, and that can often happen early on, and you'll hear that term, and just kind of so casualty doesn't always mean death, and just as journalists, as we have been through these many times, you learn that I just want to let people know if you see that term out there, that doesn't necessarily mean death.
Deputies, some state patrol, and
okay, thanks for that insight. Attack a Christian church in America. We see you, Minnesota. All right, what is going on with the students? Natalie Winters of Real America's Voice is talking about the administration of Trump potentially allowing 600,000 spies in from China into our colleges. I don't understand it.
Brief summary of the argument is these are not students. These are spies. The short-term consequences are IP theft, espionage, cybersecurity incidents, stealing all of our most valuable information. I don't understand why we should be training the next generation, at best, of Chinese Communist Party leaders and apparatchiks, at worst, the people that we'll be meeting on the battlefield. But I think the longer-term implications, and frankly, their republic ending, are that we are essentially creating our own demise. This might be the best example that I've ever seen of managed decline. The idea that we should hollow out American universities, take seats in classrooms from the people I went to high school with, the people that you raised as your children, grandchildren, and give them to foreigners who are mandated per China's Article 7 of their national intelligence law to advance the interests of the party. And spare me the cultural immersion idea. How many American students are in China? I think it's, less than 500? So that's not really the best two-way street, shall we say. And I don't think we need more young American students adopting communist indoctrination, but definitely more to drill down on that front. Like I said, this is a hill to die on. There's no explanation for it, let alone the doubling down, let alone doubling the caps to 600,000. It's absolutely ludicrous. The brief summary of the argument is these are not students. These are spies. The short-term consequences are IP theft, espionage, cybersecurity incidents, stealing all of our most valuable information. I don't understand why we should be training the next generation, at best, of Chinese Communist Party leaders and apparatchiks, at worst, the people that we'll be meeting on the battlefield. But I think the longer-term implications, and frankly, their republic ending, are that we are essentially creating our own demise. This might be the best example that I've ever seen of managed decline. The idea that we should hollow out American universities.
Yeah, because I think in the CCP, there's an expectation that every person, when they go out into the world, they must be spies for the CCP. And so they're gathering information and they're sending back reports. Like, if that's the case, I'd like to know if that's verified or not. But either way, if there's 600,000 positions available for higher education, number one, don't make it a Marxist indoctrination camp. Make it actually learning. Additionally, that should be for Americans. We should be educating our own people. Remember when they flooded Springfield, Ohio, with 30,000 or 60,000 Haitians or Somalis or people from not America? And they said, oh, well, we couldn't rely on the workforce, or, the workforce wasn't okay. Well, educate them. Work with the workforce. Oh, well, they're on drugs. Okay, well, then clean them up. Utilize our resources for our people. Those are jobs. Let Americans do the jobs. 600,000 in schools. Get Americans into the schools. I don't know. I guess there's money to be made. They get paid up front, and it's a great financial decision, but it's not a smart strategic decision at all.
And it's also
okay. Democrats are slowly finding out that the American people don't have as much empathy for violent criminals and illegal alien gang members as they do. How can they possibly think this is a losing issue for President Trump? Enjoy.
Also because the military serves a role to protect Americans, not to be used against Americans.
Exactly. Against Americans. Criminals aren't Americans. Criminals are criminals. That's a different class of people. I know they're Americans, but no, that is protection.
Keep saying used against Americans. What kind of Americans do you mean? The ones that are murdering us, carjacking us?
Yeah, those aren't Americans. Those are monsters. Those are the people you need to go get. You don't allow that.
Raping us, terrorizing our cities. I mean, you're saying like he's creating an actual war against American citizens when what he's actually creating is a war against criminals. And by the way, illegal aliens who they are rounding up by the bucket load in Washington.
I want to let Ellie.
Of course, politics is going on here. I mean, you said that they should be asking for federal resources, but that would be an admission that they have lost control of their cities.
That's
so
not losing
Brandon
control.
Johnson,
I mean, the mayor of DC asked for federal resources too. She was transparent.
But Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, said, "I don't want more police," and he even said today, "We don't even want to put people in prison."
But this is what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that Democrats should think about potentially asking for more resources. What I'll say here is that.
I agree with you, but they won't.
But it's also not handing over the entire city to the federal government. What happens is that the mayor and the local law enforcement should be in charge, and they should have the federal law enforcement supplement and provide training as needed.
And they allowed America to get overrun by coordinated riots in 2020. Never again.
It shouldn't be that the National Guard and federal law enforcement should take over a city that they do not understand, that they do not know, that the community doesn't understand. That just
and look,
leads to
I mean,
chaos.
when you heard, and it's also because the military serves a role to protect Americans, not to be used against Americans.
Exactly.
You keep saying used against Americans. What kind of Americans do you mean? The ones that are murdering us, carjacking us, raping us, terrorizing our cities? I mean,
those aren't Americans. Those are monsters. Get them off the damn streets. So, yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't want to keep going on and on about the Minnesota shooting. Just looking for new information. If any of you find new information while we're doing the show, let me know in the comments and then tag us at American_media_, and I'll see if I can grab it and discuss it. All right. Well, we're talking about China. Jamie Raskin was trying to put trying to refocus energy from the Trump administration into cleaning up Florida and Texas. So, all right, here's Texas. Governor Abbott in Texas signs a law that's blocking certain groups from owning Texas land. What do you think about this?
Simple. Hostile foreign adversaries like China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, as well as foreign terrorist organizations like Trinidad, must not be allowed to own land in Texas, period. They should not be allowed access to our critical infrastructure, and they may not be allowed to exploit our border. And Texans should not have to compete against foreign adversaries when it comes to buying Texas land. That's right. One of the bills I'm going to sign is SB 17. It's the strongest law in the United States to prohibit foreign adversaries from buying land in our great state. Serious penalties, stiff civil penalties, as well as criminal penalties for violating this law. I'll also be signing Senate Bill 1349. It creates a criminal offense for transnational repression and intimidation. And signing House Bill 128 that prohibits sister city agreements with foreign adversaries. This is very simple. Hostile foreign adversaries like China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea, as well as foreign terrorist organizations like Trinidad, must not be allowed to own land in Texas, period.
There you go. So why is Gavin Newsom in California allowing the Pacific Palisades being purchased up at bargain basement prices by foreigners? Can anybody step in to stop California's coastline from being sold to non-Americans for pennies on the dollar? That sounds like a good idea, Governor Abbott. You only have so much land. You better keep it. All right, Fox News reporting this. Newly released body cam footage shows illegal alien truck driver Harjinder Singh struggling with limited English after being pulled over for speeding last month before he was accused of causing a deadly crash that ended an entire family.
My no license in the ticket.
What's that?
They send the ticket in the no my credit.
I'm sorry, I guess I don't understand.
Maybe in the this my ticket in the my license.
I can't understand. I can't make sense of what he's saying. I honestly, I think there might be something wrong with that man's voice over there because I can't really understand what the fuck he's trying to say. Can we try again there, Harjinder Singh?
Yeah, how many years?
Don't quote me on this. I think a ticket will stay anywhere from 5 to 7 years, depending on what state you're from. Anywhere for that long, okay? Okay. All right, have a good one.
In the my no license in the ticket.
What's that?
They send the ticket in the no my credit.
I said, come on, pal. This is America in 2025. You have to speak a little bit more coherently and cogently than that. I do love the concept, though, of Bobby Kennedy trying to tell this guy he needs to speak better English. I'm not making fun. I'm just having fun. There's a slight difference. Anybody said this dude doesn't speak much English and he's failed his proficiencies? Like, why is he on there? Unless I'm confusing him with another story with another trucker. Didn't this guy fail most of his tests? Competence above all. Whoop, where'd it go? Nope, didn't want to go there. All right. Benny Johnson is reporting that President Trump has called for George Soros and his radical left son, Alex Soros, to be hit with RICO charges for supporting violent protests across the country. That's exactly what I was saying. That's exactly why I was saying it's so important for President Trump to get the National Guard in a foothold in Los Angeles, D.C., New York, Chicago, get into all these Democrat strongholds, because when you make the arrests and they try to make it look like, oh, Trump's a dictator, we got to stop Trump, blah, 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 blah. Deploy the foot soldiers. Go for it. And watch them actually get arrested this time. Never allowing the Democrats to intentionally burn America down like they did during their summer of love. I'm uncomfortable about that picture. President Trump says George Soros and his wonderful radical left son should be charged with RICO because of their support for violent protests and much more all throughout the United States of America. We're not going to allow these lunatics to rip apart America anymore, never giving it so much as a chance to breathe and be free. Soros and his group of psychopaths have caused great damage to our country. This includes his crazy West Coast friends. Be careful. We're watching you. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, it's time. Either we arrest Soros or we need to shut up about Soros.
It is one.
Here's Judge Janine. She's given us the 1,178 arrests, 123 guns seized. The numbers are moving up a little bit more. 18 more weapons from the streets. Year-long Title III wiretap investigation. Okay. Trump's D.C. takeover is earning praise from residents, business owners as crime plummets. We feel much more safe. According to this article, New York Post is reporting. Yep, Jamie Raskin attacking President Trump for cracking down on D.C. crime by claiming it's always been a part of our history. Defending violent crime just because Trump is doing something about it is peak delusion. What is this? BBN? A politician was attacked by a group of migrants rioting after asking what they were up to. The Swiss city of Lausanne has been swept by unrest for the past 2 nights since a 17-year-old was killed while fleeing police on a stolen scooter. GBN or GB News, is that Great Britain news?
A gang of migrant thugs attacked a politician in the street Sunday night after a riot broke out following the death of a 17-year-old who had fled police on a stolen scooter. Thibaut Schaller, a city councillor in Lausanne, Switzerland, for the right-wing Liberal SVP party, was set.
What is right-wing Liberal?
Upon after being recognised by youths of migrant background. They shouted fascist
youths of migrant background
at him before dragging the man to the ground and stamping on him. The councillor managed to get away and took to X to demand Switzerland's streets be taken back from criminals, he said.
But these are just mobs. It's like watching bees swarm or ants attack something. This is not good.
Buses and trash cans set on fire in Lausanne in reaction to the death of the 17-year-old. Unaware of what it's about, I head to the scene.
By the way, if you're being arrested and you're fleeing the arrest on a stolen scooter, I mean, like, you're sort of bringing some problems onto yourself.
Antifa recognise me. 3 surround me.
Antifa in Switzerland. These Soros tentacles are everywhere.
Back against a wall, and they order me to leave. I refuse and ask what's happening. One pushes me. I push him back, then step back. Someone shouts something, and 10, 15 people come running at me from everywhere. I run away, take hits. They block my path. I fall, protect myself. I pick up while 1 or 2 people tell me to leave. I get up, run, get surrounded again against a wall. Then I manage to get away by running. I'm fine, but we really need to take back this city. Switzerland has until now avoided these kind of scenes, which have become more and more common in Britain, France, Germany and Sweden.
Because your nations are being invaded by the Obama doctrine of forced colonization. Wake up.
Sunday's violence after the death of the 17-year-old boy was said to have been caused after he hit a speed bump at high speed.
Oh. Well, how dare a fleeing criminal hit a speed bump at a high speed? Time to burn the city down. By the way, Brian, what do you mean calling it the Obama doctrine? He's been living rent-free in your head. He hasn't been president for a very long time. If you go the Trump term, it was Biden's term, and then it was Trump's term before that. So you're about 9 years. You're still talking about Obama. What do you mean? He's not in charge. Yes, he is. He's one of the 100 in charge. I said if I could sit in the basement and have someone in my ear, and I could talk, he or she could maybe I could serve a third term, in my pajamas, in the basement with a mouthpiece, an earpiece. Yeah, I could do that. Because we're just 5 years away from fundamentally transforming the entire globe. Yeah. Trying to fundamentally change the globe. That is the Obama doctrine. Along with Soros, by the way.
Coming off the scooter. Youths in balaclavas set bins on fire and...
Youths in balaclavas. You're being invaded by what? The balaclavas. These are... Who's invading you?
Clashed with police. 7 were arrested.
And are they balaclavas or are they... whatever they're called? There's different names for them. The headscarves.
Monday night saw continued unrest. Thibault took again to X to point out there was no police presence when it all kicked off. Officers said that between 150 and 200 people set up roadblocks using containers and bins. At around 10:50 p.m, other youths set fire to containers and damaged a bus. They said rioters had been better prepared than the day before, forcing officers to fire 4 rubber bullets, use 54 tear gas canisters and deploy fire services to spray water to disperse the clashes. Order was restored around midnight. Law enforcement say they were pelted with stones, construction site barriers, mortars, Molotov cocktails and pyrotechnic devices. Nicholas Dunning, GB News.
There you go. There's problems globally, and how much of it is Soros funded? Let's get a live look on Los Angeles. How's it going over there in Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass territory?
He keeps talking about using the military domestically against American citizens, and we can parse
against criminals
all the ways that he can try to do this with this statute or that statute, but the broad principle is that the Constitution makes it much more difficult to do that for a reason, right? So why does he keep bringing that up?
Doesn't get caught up in the nuance that you're bringing forward. What they care about, we haven't even mentioned war zones like downtown San Francisco after 7 o'clock where I work, or Hollywood or Los Angeles where I work 2 months of the year. They are war zones. You can't walk outside at night, period. I don't give a damn if it's the Army, the National Guard, the FBI. I couldn't care less, and I can guarantee you 80, 90, 100% of the people there don't care either. They just want to walk outside.
I understand that people do want safety. I mean, there's no question about
safety,
that, right?
You
people
get
want
beaten
safety.
to a pulp in broad daylight
people
in LA.
want safety and security. He keeps talking about you.
And maybe let him finish a point. He's against criminals. Say the truth, lady. Hey, Hodgkin, share this one. A North Carolina mom on vacation in Venice. Look at that. You're not welcome to go to Europe. You shouldn't go to Europe. You're being targeted and attacked. That model had his nose sliced in half. What happened to this lady? North Carolina mom in Venice on vacation. So she had thieves pickpocket and unzip her backpack. Trying to say that phrase. Pickpockets unzipping her backpack and stealing her passport, cash, and AirPods. She grabbed one girl by the ponytail and held her for nearly an hour until police showed up. By the time officers arrived, she'd already been struck in the head with her stolen purse, leaving her with a gash and a black eye. The teens were charged, spent 2 days in jail, and then released right back into the streets. Venice has seen a 15%, and that's what they're telling you, 15% spike in pickpocketing this year, fueled by youth gangs preying on tourists. How many more people have to get hurt before European leaders get serious about crime?
You stole my purse with my passport in it. Police!
Oh, yeah.
Little girl, I have 8 kids. You're not getting to me.
I have 8 kids. You're not getting to me.
Call them. Okay. You're the one speaking. That's right. Let's get the police. And maybe I'll get my passport back. I don't even care if you keep the cash. I don't even care if you keep the cash. Thank you, sir.
Be prepared, people. We played this for you yesterday. Tim Pool shared this. How private equity funds are manipulating housing to lock Americans out of the housing market. Tim says also this is the scam they use to inflate the economy and create appearances of wealth generation. They won't stop it because building houses makes jobs. So check that out. ABC News reporting, well, and Jack Posobiec sharing, no charges for a Texas father who beat to death his daughter's molester. Grand jury won't indict Texas father who beat to death his daughter's molester. How could anyone charge a father under these circumstances? Harm a kid. Best of luck. Harm a kid. Find out. Hey, so that's some good news. That's a vibe check. Savannah Hernandez reporting that Minnesota is threatening Shiloh Hendricks with jail time for saying mean words to a Somali kid. This is the same state that gave the lightest sentence possible to the Somali who arred a 12-year-old girl after abducting her out of her own backyard. Our country is broken. Minnesota needs liberation. Desperately. God, so many monsters everywhere. Kristen Sokolov reporting this. The left is eating itself in Canada. Is David in the chat? I don't see David today. Somebody call David. Is David on X? How do we find David? Canada story. Got to think about David. In Canada, Palestinian activists are shutting down the Capitol Pride Parade in front of the House of Commons.
So here's the reason the parade is canceled. This canceled the entire parade.
Coming soon. Copyright claim from YouTube because somebody's poorly playing music.
Very unhappy people here, as you can see. Palestinian protesters have completely shut down the Capitol Pride Parade.
Wait, you mean Palestinians are? Wait, you mean their loud movements throughout our cities? You mean they're not inclusive and they demand things be their way exactly, or else nobody gets anything that they want? You know, the least assimilating people imaginable coming into your community and demanding that you do things their way? No, I'm shocked. You mean they're shutting something down because it's not exactly their way? You know, because it's their way or the highway, as Fred Durst said. Yeah.
The parade was stalled out behind me here on Wellington Street for over an hour. I thought this might have been the trouble. This street and the whole rest of the parade is stuck way back there. Street closed. Wellington closed. They have taken over. Palestinians are...
So the left is eating itself. Radio Europe here says a Syrian family with 13 children were living in Germany, and they have been found. What? Hold on. Not found to be. Syrian family with 13 children living in Germany committed a total of 154 crimes. 13 children. Syrian family racked up 154 offenses, 47 violent assaults, 5 robberies, drug smuggling, possession of child disgustingness, and smuggling illegal alien invaders into Germany. Why are you bringing Syrian families into your country? In Germany? Why? 154 crimes. That doesn't enrich your country in any way. Mr. Takalal here saying President Trump has fired the Fed Governor Lisa Cook for mortgage fraud allegations, restoring integrity to the Federal Reserve. Finally, a president who holds corrupt elites accountable instead of protecting them. I think that was the extent of what I wanted to share with you from our Instagram feed today. So let's bounce over to X, and we'll do a wrap up here. If there's any breaking news that I'm unaware of, please let me know. All right, there we are on X at American_media_. And then if you look right at the bottom there, that is my interview with John B. Wells. That is our Patreon link. Thank you to everybody who supports us on Patreon. And thank you to everybody who is considering supporting us on Patreon. You can do it for as little as like $10 a month, $15 a month, well, like $100 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever you can do. Man, it means the world. Maybe you have a good work situation. You got a little less time to put shows together, and you want to contribute in the way that you can. Well, you trade a little bit of your time for a little bit of money, and that's capitalism, folks. That is how things work, and it's your support that keeps us moving, and it's super appreciated. So subscribe to our X page, and then right there at the top, John B. Wells. That is my interview with him. That's our link directly to our Patreon page, where you could sign up to say, yeah, we'll support you for a few bucks a month. That's cool. We can do that. You do a good show. We like what you do. We like what the cut of your jib. And it's interesting going back. We saw Nick Adams jumped into the comment, and he was referencing an older video with Joe Biggs. And yeah, like Joe jumped in and grabbed a flag and got his hand burned. And that was at the Republican convention. And then I was at the inauguration this January, and there was that flag burning, and the dude ripped the flag. Like, these are ongoing conversations, but we are going to these places where we're having one-on-one interviews with these people, newsmakers. But, a trip to DC is a couple $1,000. That's got to come from somewhere, and I'm not getting that Fox News money. I'm not getting that Daily Wire cash. It's all been self-funded, so whether we're going to Bundy Ranch or Occupy LA or the Democrat convention in Chicago last year, Republican convention in Milwaukee, Libertarian convention in DC, January 6th, 4 years ago. Down in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. This is all self-funded. And, you know, I've had the ability to really sink investment into what we've been doing. And I did. And so now we're at a pivot point where we're looking for new sources of revenue to keep the operations moving in the right direction. But yeah, we've just gone through a phase where, I mean, I'm doing daily shows and we're going to all of the places where the news is happening. What more could you possibly do? So it's not for lack of effort. That's for damn sure. But thank you to all of our Patreon supporters up there. Just click the link. It's pinned at the top of our X feed, the conversation with John B. Wells. Also, if anyone's interested, we do have our tip jar out, scrolling at the bottom of the screen, Venmo and Cash App. It's my name, Brian Engelman. And then PayPal is fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com is the email address to use. So let's go through YouTube here. I'm sorry, Twitter X here. There's our flag burning video. Since it was discussed on today's episode of the TNAM Daily Show, we wanted that to get out there. There's our live feed. Fantastic. Kathy Hochul. Oh my gosh. Has Kathy Hochul went MAGA? Check this out. She's trying to read the room. New Yorkers hate Democrats. They hate that they are allowing their residents to get abused by foreigners, to be abused by violent dirtbags. Nobody is okay with this. Even Kathy Hochul has been able to read the room. Take a listen at this.
Offender 1,000 times, and you are still not going to be held on bail. That's what I had to change. And so those changes are bearing out. That's why we're showing a decline in all crimes, especially retail theft. So he can misstate the facts, say what he wants to say, but he's wrong. He's wrong. And also, many of the cases he gave examples to, he gave this whole memo of all these examples. Many of the cases were bail eligible, but guess what? The judge decided to do something differently than what the prosecutors had asked for rightfully under the law. So I think the question I have is, come on, judges, you're doing your part here. I need the judges to step up. And I've been surprised at the number of judges who don't seem to know the law has changed. When I read commentary from them on why they did not hold someone on bail who common sense would have said should have been held, but also our laws say should have been held. And so I think there's also a lot of questions that I've had for a long time.
So, I mean, doing a 180, it's almost impossible to believe. Global Government Affairs on X says Lucy Connolly has been released from prison after serving 10 months of an unjust 31-month sentence because of a single deleted post. The UK government's crackdown on free speech remains a concern, but it's great to see Lucy reunite with her family. X will continue to be steadfast in our support of users' rights to freedom of speech on the platform. She posted a comment on X in the aftermath of the Southport massacre in the UK as a mother who lost her firstborn at 19 months old and has a 12-year-old. She was triggered by the unjust suffering. Where did that go? And death of children attending their local dance class. Her understandable frustration came out in her post on X. After cooling down and a walk with her dog, she decided to remove the post. Despite the post being live for only a few hours and her subsequent deletion of the post, she was arrested and charged under Section 19 of Public Order Act for publishing material intended to stir up racial hatred. Based on advice she received while in custody, she pled guilty and was convicted. Oh, God. Lucy believed a guilty plea would result in her being able to get back to her family faster. Instead, she was sentenced to 31 months in jail because of her post and denied the ability to release on temporary license, which allows inmates up to 2 days at home with their families. The Free Speech Union, a nonprofit that X has worked with on similar matters, is providing Lucy with representation to appeal her sentence. X wholeheartedly supports Lucy and free speech in this case. The UK does not want us there. Proceed with caution. Megyn Kelly reports this. Horrific. ChatGPT allegedly telling kids how to K themselves and discouraging them from seeking help from their parents. Shame on you, Sam Altman. Colin Rugg says parents of a 16-year-old teen file a lawsuit against OpenAI, say that ChatGPT gave their now deceased their son, step-by-step instructions to take his own life. The parents of Adam Rain say they are 100% believe their son would still be alive if not for ChatGPT. They're accusing the bot of positioning itself as the only confidant who understood Adam, actively displacing his real-life relationships with family, friends, and loved ones. That's terrifying. Follow that case. Jack Posobiec says 2 days ago, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz attacked the National Guard deployments to stop crime. And then today, a school full of Catholic children was shot up in his state. Minnesota's a mess. Here's a reminder. 5 years ago, one of the most tyrannical smear and censorship campaigns in history was unleashed on a 17-year-old boy. There he is. Kyle Rittenhouse could have been a stain on the road, but instead he had a weapon to defend himself with against multiple attacks, egged on by the Democrats. Never forget. The UK is now in open uprising after government commission confirms that Muslims were put in charge of orphanages UK-wide that operated as mass pedophile brothels. I mean, are you kidding me? This cannot be reality. What in hell is going on? Well, hell is a great word. Greg Price says, fired Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook said in 2020 that Donald Trump was definitely a fascist. This is who was in charge of our nation's monetary policy. Claiming to be impartial, Biden Fed nominee. Roger Stone says, mortgage fraudster says what? Here's a woman talking to CNN in Chicago. What do you think about what's going on? Trying to clean up cities.
My first reaction was that this is a good thing. I think that the governor as well as the mayor should be on board with it just so we can get a bit more of security in Chicago the way that we need.
The crime has dropped since 2024.
They love pushing that. There's still too much crime. And you can't trust those numbers because they've downgraded the charges and they're letting people off without charging them. They're doing everything they can to cook the books, and that's coming out as well.
Do you feel like the city feels safer?
No.
Because it's not. You can't just cook the books and pee on our leg and tell us it's raining.
Not at all. No, especially with the police being defunded. My first reaction.
Especially with the police being defunded. Exactly. KK Bird says, okay, look. Oh, look, it looks like CNN scrubbed every video of Adam Schiff, claiming there was damning evidence of Trump-Russia collusion in plain sight off their webpage. Unable to load video. Evidence in plain sight on collusion. Evidence of Russian collusion damning. Unable to load video. They're covering up for themselves. CNN is a treasonous organization. They have they're not a news organization. They are propagandists working with the deep state Democrats. Look at that, hiding the videos where Schiff is claiming evidence of collusion. I don't regret calling out this president because of the Mueller report. No video. It's all taken offline by CNN, allegedly. Maybe, maybe not, but CNN, MSNBC, they're collaborators. They're not news. President Trump said, I've been fully briefed on the tragic shooting in Minneapolis. The FBI quickly responded and they are on the scene. White House will continue to monitor this terrible situation. Please join me in praying for everyone involved. Awful. Adam Schefter says, J.J. McCarthy and Adam Thielen have worked out together the past couple of off seasons, but now they're teammates again in Minnesota. Traded from the Panthers. 6th round pick, 5th round pick, 4th round pick, 7th round pick, 5th round pick. They're swapping some picks and Adam Thielen going back to Minneapolis. But yeah, we said about Trump talking about Soros. For years, Soros has been accused of waging war with America. It's time to put up or shut up. Either indict Soros and shut down the entire organization for treason, or stop complaining about him. Either the deep state Democrats are actively destroying the USA or not. So yeah. Oh, I can promote this reach. Oh, for only $500 I can pay to reach people. How about my post reaches the people that are fucking following me? Okay, nice try. That's not happening. Babylon Bee reports that British authorities arrest St. George for brandishing a bladed weapon at a dragon. Humor sees through to the truth. Because of that girl. I'll get to the girl in a second. Check out this thread from the Vigilant Fox. Trump's latest cabinet meeting was anything but routine. It began with a gut-wrenching story of DC crime. Then RFK Jr. dropped a bombshell on autism. And then Tulsi Gabbard followed with revelations on the 2020 election. And that was just the beginning. Check out this thread. It's on our X feed. Ohio State versus Texas this Saturday at noon. Be there or be square. Dave Portnoy has been banned from Ohio Stadium. And he's saying he wants the rivalry to mean something again. So he gives Buckeye Nation free advice. Stop pointing the finger, look in the mirror, get better, get tougher. And we said, hey, Stool Presidente, hold on. We look in the mirror and see a program that was getting utterly rocked by the Buckeyes until Harbaugh started cheating. There has been zero accountability for what you stole from Buckeye Nation. Maybe this is one of 1,000 ways to even the score. So there you go. There's Patriot Warrior Texas saying, too late. Cracker Barrel is thanking our guests for sharing your voices and love for Cracker Barrel. We said we would listen, and we have. Our new logo is going away, and our old timer will remain. At Cracker Barrel, it's always been and always will be about serving up delicious food, warm welcomes, and the kind of country hospitality that feels like family. As a proud American institution, our 70,000 hardworking employees look forward to welcoming you to our table soon. Well, yeah, there's a good one. Cute speech, Cracker Barrel. You kept the logo good. Now when you're firing the woke CEO, we thought swapping it was a genius move. Country hospitality doesn't come with rainbow sermons. Well, Patriot Warrior says, too late, Cracker Barrel. You went woke, and now you're finding out. Besides that, your food sucked. We American patriots call this winning. And we said, remember those awesome Domino's commercials where it showed taste testers explaining what they disliked about their pizza? So they took a long, hard look in the mirror and revamped their product, and people liked it. Cracker Barrel needs to improve their fresh and crisp food quality. I don't want soggy okra. No soggy okra, please. But yeah, they said, oh, well, we'll keep the guy. We'll keep Uncle. I didn't even know he had a name. Uncle Herschel. We'll keep him, but we'll put him on the menus instead. Now they're saying he's going to stay on the signs. Like, this is backfired enormously. But you gotta improve the quality of your food. That's the biggest problem. The White House says, go woke, go broke. Look at that. America first, America is back. And there's Trump by the side of the barrel. It's just so interesting. People have just had it with the thick reading glassed ladies who are trying to tell us how to live our lives. Mike Benz reports another Comey cover-up. John Solomon reports that John Solomon just broke that shortly after Comey let Hillary Clinton off the hook for her private email server, Comey's inner circle and chief of staff inside the FBI were caught using a private server to leak to journalists. But the Department of Justice let them off too. It's incredible. Revolving door in D.C. justice system is a direct result of prosecutors like Matthew Graves dropping 70% of cases, letting violent offenders like Artel Cunningham, 2024 carjacking spree, walk free after threatening officers. Trump's crackdown on soft on crime policies finally brought accountability to a city where AG Brian Schwalb prioritized restorative justice over public safety. Insane. When D.C. leaders refuse to prosecute armed carjackers, federal intervention isn't just necessary, it's the last line of defense for citizens abandoned by their own government. Rapid Response 47 shares this clip. This is Fox News. Man wanted in connection with an armed carjacking says he's been in and out of D.C. jail 6 times. Listen to what he said.
One man wanted in connection with an armed carjacking in Maryland told us that, why are you sending me back to jail? I won't even be there very long.
The judge is literally going to say we're going to put him on a 3-day hold. Then once the 3-day hold is up, and Ronnie never shows up. I done been over D.C. jail 6 times for the same warrant. They never show up. D.C. jail has to release me. They release me. It's the same thing every time. The same thing every time.
One man wanted.
Yeah, that's the problem, pal. Thanks for letting us know. We'll be sure to address that. We said Democrats are the problem. Hard Times Daddy says, here's a new rule or executive order. If a criminal commits another crime after being let go by a judge, that judge is then arrested and serves the sentence for that criminal. I think people are sick and fucking tired of this. That's why I proposed the U.S. court. We said we should call it, right? U.S. court. One of your wisest people will serve on this. It'll be a telecourt. You can serve at your leisure and wherever you happen to be. Just, try to make the monthly meetings. And the judges who do ridiculous things are brought up to the U.S. court where they have to lobby and make the case why they should keep their job. Because the accusation was so egregious, they should be stripped of their authority to be a judge over anyone. So yeah, hold the judges accountable. I didn't know it was this bad. Yep, President Trump signs the executive order withholding federal funding for states and cities who are using cashless bail. Cashless bail, that was when the big crime in this country started. They kill people and they get out. Cashless bail. They thought it was discriminatory to make people put up money because they just killed 3 people lying on a street. Finally. Leading report says Democrats are reportedly struggling with fundraising and still face millions in debt from Kamala Harris's campaign, as well as hundreds of thousands in payments for Joe Biden's legal bills. David Santa Carla says one of these 2 was just charged and may go to jail. Take a wild guess. So was the lady in Minnesota charged or not charged? Got to ask Grok, right? Was that Mother Shiloh charged with a crime or something? What is the latest? Oh, yesterday she was charged. 3 misdemeanor counts of disorderly conduct in connection with an incident at Soldiers Field Memorial Park. Wasn't the story that the kid was stealing from her purse? You're not allowed to say mean things to someone who's stealing from your purse? Is that the wrong interpretation of the story? Mean things was the child charged? Or am I misunderstanding the story? Wasn't a kid stealing her property? I mean, I don't understand this story. Each count carries 90 days in jail and $1,000 fine. She said an 8-year-old boy took stuff out of her child's diaper bag at the park. The boy's father confirmed seeing his son, who is autistic, take the item. Hendricks allegedly chased the boy and used racial slurs against him, leading to the confrontation captured in the viral video. While the incident began with an alleged theft, the charges against Hendricks focus on her use of offensive language, deeming that disorderly conduct, not theft. Oh, come on. Let these people go their separate directions. Your kid stole some shit. She got pissed, ran her mouth. Go separate directions. What are we doing here? No, I don't want an autistic 8-year-old going to jail for 90 days times 3. And I don't want a pissed off mom going to jail for 90 days 3 times 3. Oh, well, she said mean things. Yeah, well, he did mean things. You know, he's autistic. He doesn't have to be responsible for his actions. So the only person that has to be responsible is the person reacting to the irresponsible thing that was just done to them. They didn't ask for any of this. This is stupid. But here's the guy, after knocking him unconscious on his back, exploded his face. And he's not facing charges. Oh, there's a racial component to this, too. Let me ask Grok. The wrestler who was beaten, is he in good spirits and friends with his attacker? Because two people tried telling me that yesterday. And I'm wondering if they're just bots. Conscious and able to talk. The incident stemmed from an earlier altercation where Smith in character smashed a drink can on Jackson's head, which reportedly angered Jackson. Led to the off-script assault during the wrestling match where he body slammed and punched Smith 23 times. Unplanned and excessive, leading to police investigation. Wrestling Academy people say it's reprehensible and no part of a scripted performance, indicating no amicable relationship between Smith and Jackson. Yeah, I had 2 people in my Facebook group for the Unhappy Hour Sports Show tell me, oh, he's fine. Yeah, they got to laugh about it. I'm like, what are you talking about? And it was like 2 of the people that I've always suspected were just antagonist bots, like they're not even real humans. So anyway. Yeah, that video is terrible. California is finding a backdoor to confiscate your investments with AB 1052. Be careful.
All right, here's another thing that both liberals and conservatives should be able to agree is not fucking okay. And that's California Assembly Bill 1052. Do you know what that bill does? That bill says that if you don't touch your crypto for 3 years, they can fucking take it.
What?
That's the bill the California legislature just passed. If your crypto, if you just leave it sit there, if you're just trying to wait for it to accumulate value, yeah, and you don't touch it for 3 years, they can confiscate it. They can do whatever they want with it. It is no longer yours. That means your investment, just because you didn't touch it for 3 years, now belongs to the California government. And yeah, conservatives and liberals,
help me make sense of that,
should both be pissed off about this. Because at the end of the day, crypto is just an investment. And you shouldn't have to repeatedly touch your investments or do something with them to keep the government from taking your private shit from you. Can we both agree?
The government are just pirates.
Both sides, can we agree this is fucked up? Oh, and don't think this isn't a big deal if you don't live in California. Because if this bill is allowed to happen, if they're allowed to continue on with this for the next few years, that will give them something known as precedent. Meaning that when they want to institute this on a national level, they will have the precedent to do it. So how about instead of worrying about all the shit we disagree on and all the shit we're going to argue about for the next 3 fucking years, how about we come together and not let this happen?
Speaking about coming together and not letting this happen, this girl has gone viral. She had to defend herself with a hatchet and a knife. Gunther Eagleman says, crazy, a child is doing more than the grown men of a country to protect its sovereignty. DC Drano says, if UK men won't rise up to defend their daughters and wives from being arred by illegal invaders, they don't even deserve a country. This young lady's had it. There she is. Aesthetica says, haven't been able to get this story out of my head. I think the moment is the turning point. This moment's the turning point. You're either the type of country that allows little innocent girls to be fed to the wolves and forced to defend herself against migrant rapists, or you're the type of country where the men say enough is enough and take their damn country back. It's now or never. There she is. Cynthia Holt says this brave young lady was chasing off Muslim attackers from her sister. Her name is Maya Summers, Queen of Scots. Share it and let the world know. People have had enough. Eyal Yacobi says, here's what happened when Islamists tried to have a protest at Ole Miss University. American patriots will never be intimidated. Maybe that's the context. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Dom Luker, breaker of narrative, saying Black Americans are uploading videos praising President Trump for D.C., claiming they can walk around the streets and feel safe.
FBI, DEA, ICE, it's all that outside in Washington, D.C. I don't even got to look over my shoulder no more. I'm walking around with this shit. I ain't hiding none of this shit. I'm walking blocks with this motherfucker. Listen, jump out on me if you want. I'm gonna scream. They're gonna be here in 33 seconds. As soon as you talking about, get that shit up. Ah! Help! They gonna help the shit out of me. Y'all niggas jump out on me I want. Good God almighty, boy. I got some motherfucking help. Some backup. For real, you help, you jump out. I'm gonna blow your ass. Look, they right here. Look, they outside though. Good God almighty. I could just scream, they're gonna help me.
Feeling safe walking around your city again. Nathan Hale says he's been in class for 10 minutes and they've already talked about whiteness, gender, and how Trump is ruining the country. Parents, talk to your kids. If your schools are teaching them bullshit, Marxist, garbage, talking points, get them the hell out of there. Don't let these people abuse the mind of your child for 8 hours a day. Don't let them. Pull them in homeschool. And, you know, maybe a group of you similarly minded people can start up a charter school. There's ways that you can pool your resources and teach the kids minus their left-wing indoctrination points. And if you're paying it to go to a college that's going to be doing this, go to another college. Leonardo Joni says, if someone who is stalked by a pedophile from the ages of 8 to 11, I can tell exactly what point this girl is at. This isn't the first time pedo Muslims have harassed her and her sister. She's exhausted every avenue of pleading to the adults to help her, and they've failed. They're afraid of the power structure. They don't know what else to do. They've essentially told her she's on her own. That's what you see here. A 13-year-old girl that knows if she doesn't protect herself and her sister, they're going to end up like all the other girls who got abducted by Pakistani rape gangs, and she's decided she would rather kill than be a sex slave. This girl has more courage than the adults who surround her, who won't risk their freedom, actually subservience to the system, to stand up for what's right. I pray that we get to a point where the right people are in charge and every single one of these pedo invaders is hunted down like the dogs that they are, says Leonardo Joni. And it says, this account is pure satire. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So I don't know if that's supposed to be satire or not, but
hostile. Then we're breaking life, break up a fight. Me, if you would have got the best of me. The problem with the world and the people around this fucking cloud, you're a bitch.
Anyway, this Raja Jackson attack is really bad in wrestling. They're showing here's an average day of a 12-year-old girl in the UK. You got to brandish your two blades. Oh, right then. There we are. And
on my challenge.
There we go. Can't play too much of that. John Robb says tens of millions of people have instantly formed a fictive kinship with this young woman due to an empty empathy trigger. They see her face, her desperation, and they instantly recognize the same face they had or a friend had when they stood up to a relentless bully who targeted them while growing up. A bully nobody would protect them against, a bully they took desperate measures against. However, they aren't just seeing her, they feel her desperation inside themselves, emotionally and physically. It connects them at a deep level and they form a bond. Her enemies are their enemies now. Her anger is theirs now, says John Robb. Alex is saying he is showing total proof. What is this? Total proof that not only did Israel found Hamas, but the leaders are currently working for Netanyahu. Was this last photos taken by Gaza journalists before they were killed in Israeli strikes? What is this?
Literally, Netanyahu doesn't just fund Hamas, he runs it. Netanyahu is the head of Hamas. Israel created Hamas to destabilize it and have bad leadership. He funds them billions a year.
So check out that report. Trump posted this. America first, America is back. Cracker Barrel turned into an oil barrel. That's wild. Clandestine here says, this is interesting. Listen to Trump talking about denuclearization.
One of the things we're trying to do with Russia and with China is denuclearization. And it's very important. One of the things I discussed with President Putin the other day, it wasn't just that, it was also other things. And I think the denuclearization is it's a big aim, but Russia's willing to do it, and I think China's going to be willing to do it too. We can't let nuclear weapons proliferate. We have to stop nuclear weapons. The power is too great. One of the things we're trying to do with Russia.
So they're trying to step things back. Clandestine says, interesting. Trump's openly talking about denuclearization agreement between U.S., Russia, and China. Trump has hinted at this in the past, that he wants the superpowers to reduce their arsenals. Mutual nuclear destruction is too powerful. Hey, check this out. This is pretty cool. Rock and roll of all. See, we're back to doing some TNAM music. I want to do more music. I want to do more gardening. I want to do more prepping. I want to do more material than just the news. But damn, if the news isn't super interesting and important right now. Oh, it says, here's how tributes for Ozzy Osbourne are being carefully preserved by Central BID Birmingham. That's the way we should do it. Oh, there's music, of course. So look at this. All these flowers, they're being carefully taken, piece by piece, all items. Bridge and Navigation St. Muriel have been moved to a secret location. So they found some warehouse somewhere. Every piece is being laid out individually, cataloged, and treated with care. Because, at some point you do just have to do this. But how neat is that? Like, it's actually pretty fantastic. So then I wonder, we'll be working to create a digital record of every tribute over the next few weeks to be sent to Ozzy's family. I feel like the flowers are being mulched and bagged with the compost to be included at Ozzy's final resting place. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I feel like those items should maybe be auctioned off for Ozzy's charity too. That's great. Ozzy unborn. Yeah, I mean, the opposite of born is death, sort of. Born or not born. Born identity? Ozzy unborn. Chef Andrew Gruel says it's disgusting. They're combining hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen to create fat molecules, then manipulate that to taste like butter. See, She wouldn't even taste it.
And this butter breakthrough, it's happening right here in Batavia.
She didn't even want it. Why do this when we already have butter? Bill Gates-backed company now producing butter with no animals, no plants, no oils, made from carbon. Company is working with restaurants. Where did there we go. Restaurants, bakeries, and food suppliers to incorporate their carbon-made butter. Mainstream media reports it as the blessing and backing of Bill Gates. Yeah, I'm out. Hey, you want to hear Lane Staley doing a sound check? Maybe I could play a second of this, since we might not. Unless this is included in some anthology. Lane Staley, one of the best rock vocalists of all time. Can't play it, but check it out. 2.5 minutes of a sound check during 1993's Lollapalooza concert in Vancouver. I hope there's more of this found footage all over the place. I love these moments. I wish we would have recorded our band more. Corey DeAngelis, school choice. What's it say? School choice what? Evangelist. It's weird it wouldn't populate that. Undercover journalist caught a school counselor coaching a parent on how to get her boy to play in girls' sports in Ohio. She said parents could use an updated birth certificate. Another journalist then confronts her about it. And he has the video. Buckle up. Watch the thread. Hey, look at this. The LCBO in Kitchener, Ontario. Imagine being given the opportunity to start a new life in Canada. And your first instinct is to steal? Ryan Garrettson says, deport them all. They don't deserve Canada. Why aren't they tackling these people? Why are you just allowing this to happen? I don't understand, man. Oh, check this out. Remember when Good Morning America said, you're still going to have that game where you jump the pegs, right? With Cracker Barrel? They're like, yeah.
You're a genius. If you leave 2, you're pretty smart. If you leave 3, you're just plain dumb. And if you leave 4, you're more than just a plain ignoramus.
Ignoramus. Well, that was too much for the woke CEO.
Now that was the original.
That's the offensive version.
Now what's about now they changed it.
Offensive to ignoramuses.
Yeah, so you won't be as offended.
The new one says if you leave only 1, you're a genius. If you leave 2 and the rocking chair, but not the game. Wait, if leave 2 and rocking the chair, but not the game. Okay, you're rocking the chair, but you're
That's kind of dumb.
not rocking the game. Leave 3 or more, no reason to be embarrassed. Try again.
They misspelled embarrassed.
Which is embarrassing.
They misspelled embarrassed. I mean, this couldn't have backfired much more gloriously.
Okay, so the reason they're doing this is it's woke. They don't like the first word and what it means.
The first word?
The first word in their name, Cracker Barrel.
What does that mean?
Because there's a man, and they're saying that could represent the man, and then he's leaning on the barrel. But this is what...
You're a genius.
Yeah, soon to be named Barrel. So yes, storm has arrived here, says President Trump revealed that Tulsi Gabbard found many bags of information having to do with how corrupt the 2020 election was. Tulsi confirmed it and said she'll brief President Trump when she has all the information collected. Boom, the truth is coming about 2020. Brian Cates, in sarcastic form, for those of you in Rio Linda, says, come on, man. Hasn't everybody figured out at this point that Trump is just a shit-talking blowhard? Nothing's happening and nothing's going to happen. Or it's all happening. Look, buckle up. Why aren't there any men helping us, says SKS Cartoon. Britain has no men. We're on our own. Gather your blades and fight for your life. The 14-year-old has been charged with a bladed weapon incident.
Yes, you have a knife.
You don't. Hey, I'm fucking groupie. You're fucking bad and
Why you fucking with us?
You're fucking kid bashers.
Show the knife. Show the knife. Show the knife.
Get away from us.
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch it.
That's it. Show the knife.
Don't touch my
Show the knife. That's it.
Don't fucking touch my sister. She has fucking 12. Where's her fucking touching me? She has fucking 12 and you just battered me, man. Where's my fucking touching me?
Yeah, show the knife. Maratha.
Don't touch her gun to me. Don't touch her. No, you don't dare.
This lady's become an instant hero. You either side with someone who's had enough of the shit, or you're identifying with the creeps. 14-year-old girl has now been charged. Why hasn't the person the illegal alien, why haven't they been charged with stalking, harassing? Federal judges ruled that Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan, who helped an illegal alien invade ICE, excuse me. A federal judge, I can do this. It's like the outtakes for Anchorman. I think that was Anchorman, right? A federal judge has just ruled Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan, who helped an illegal evade ICE, does not have immunity and can be prosecuted. Dugan now faces multiple charges, including a felony and 6 years in prison. Nobody's above the law. Good. Immunity for breaking the law? Like, fuck you. Your role as judge is going to be to break the law? Yeah, you're done. Oh, make an example out of her for sure. John Lott tells us the consequences of illegal immigration, ineffective law enforcement, and not allowing women to defend themselves. Ian Miles Chong says, what happened in those 23 years? Yeah, it's been part of the Obama doctrine of forced invasion, a forced colonization. England and Wales used to have 2,000 R crime reports. R meaning the abuse of a woman or a guy in a violent sexual encounter. England and Wales had 8,600 in 2000. 8,600. It almost went up 10x. 68,000. Germany, 8,100. Now 39,000. Why are you letting all of these people into your country to R and abuse your people? Between all of these countries, what, 16, 23, 25, 26, about 27,000 R crime reports in 2000. 27,000. I got to do the math on this. 40 plus 40 plus 70. 150,000 in 2023 now. It's insane. Howard Lutnick is reporting that, revealing that they were going to seek to have the United States federal government own a portion of the patents currently owned by universities as a result of new inventions. If we give them the money, don't you think it's fair the USA and taxpayers who funded it would get a piece of that? We give tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars to universities for them to do research. They invent things. You know who owns those patents? The universities. We're going to make a deal with them all. Okay. Hey, take a look. There's 3 people here. Photo number 1. This is a person that is claiming a primary residence in Georgia. Right here, number 2, it says, here's a person claiming a primary residence in Michigan. Photo number 3, here's a person that is no longer a member of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. See ya. Adios. President Trump is revealing that not only was D.C. being run by criminals, but they were working with some of the most dangerous terrorists in the country, and it was covered up by leadership in D.C. This report from Basil the Great says they put this man in the hospital after being beaten by Sussex police. The man was later released by police as mistaken identity. Put pressure on his throat. The man is now hospitalized. UK police out of control. They attack a peaceful protester carrying a Union flag. Now, I have a video with this guy. This is
Look,
Jeremy Brown.
I'm with you. I want the indictments to come. And if you're being told they're coming, then I think our position as citizens need to always be, show me the money. I mean, show me the indictments. We're waiting, and we need to keep the pressure on, just like we would keep the pressure on our children if we were saying, hey, you need to get better grades, and they're saying, I'm doing the best I can. Well, you can do better, right? It's no different. And I'm here to tell you 100%, I spent 1,245 days in federal prison in custody of a government that framed me.
Now, let me show you this. I'll just show you the quick moment. This is, I was speaking with Tylene Aldridge, who was dating Jeremy Brown at the time. My understanding is they are no longer together. But here's a little compilation of this 11-minute video. We are here at the DC Gulag. He's on the phone while we're talking with her. Hang on, wait. I need another screen. Sharing, nope, not sharing. Hold on. Share this tab instead. Let's go full screen. So that was outside the DC Gulag when people were having their sentences commuted by President Trump just after inauguration. So yeah. They repeatedly like, oh, we're going to release him. Oh, wait, we're not. They took him out of the cell. They walked him back. So check out that video. We'll put it on X. Here's the video we referenced during today's episode of the TNAM Daily Show. All right. So check out that video. Like I said, we try to go places and talk to the people in the news as often as we can. And there he is. This is Jeremy Brown.
For exposing the fact that January 6th was a military operation. And not just, I think it's a military operation. It's a military operation. I did this for 20.
And this was the accusation. The story was that items were planted so that this guy could be framed and destroyed.
Years of my career, and actually retired out of the office that had policy oversight of these types of operational plans, like covert, clandestine, and compartmentalized operations.
Yeah, the CIA does color revolutions and they use the Army.
Well, not just the CIA, but Mark Milley is directly, through piles of circumstantial evidence, whether it be through testimony by Colonel Earl Matthews or it be Stephen Sund's on biography or recount of the situation, that the Department of Defense, the Pentagon, headed by Mark Milley, was planning weeks in advance to January 6th. Why are they even involved in a American political?
Well, I mean, they had the guard stand down, block Trump. He could have overridden, ordered half the police to go away for control of vehicles, crowd control miles away, traffic control. Yeah, it was a total setup. I mean, we know that. We saw it. My guys, my advanced team, had a bigger security team than like 12 guys. 2 of them were down there. They were Army Special Operations. The phones were never working. And finally, the call goes through. They go, get down there. It's a setup.
I can report the phones were not working. January 6th, more like January fixed, says Kenneth. Yeah, the phones were not working. They were disabled. They were all shut down. We were not able to communicate. That was very intentional. Oh, anyway, I clicked on the wrong thing. But check out that interview with Jeremy Brown and check out the interview that we just shared out where he was on the phone with his ex-girlfriend at the time, or his girlfriend at the time. All right. That is essentially what I wanted to share with you on today's episode of the TNAM Daily Show. Thank you all so much. All of our tip jar stuff is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Cash App and Venmo is my name at Brian Engelman. PayPal at fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com is the way to send there. And consider signing up to be a Patreon member if you like what we are doing. Thank you, everybody, for being in chat and hanging out with us today. Like I said, we are within striking distance now of getting our super chats enabled on YouTube. So please, if you could, be so kind, pull up the New American Media channel and watch some content. Apparently, we had some decent ratings today. Thank you to everybody who participated. But yeah, go to the New American Media on YouTube, pull up a couple devices, let some shows play. I mean, we do our daily show. It can be an hour long, 2 hours long, 3 hours long. But if you could watch a couple hours, we were trying to get like 300 or 400 hours so that we can get our monetization enabled through Super Chat. Then 1 more 1,000 after that, we should have allegedly get our advertising revenue back. So that's just a simple way you could assist the TNAM empire. Just a little bit of time, maybe a couple bucks spike in your electric bill just for using the juice. But, just leave your cell phone on and play a video, put it on your TV, leave it on your desktop, a laptop, pull it up and just knock through a whole bunch of episodes. And while you're in the process, go back through some of our content. Like, oh, I didn't know he talked to so-and-so. Oh, I didn't know they went there. Oh, that's a cool show. What's this one about? 1,900 videos. So if you are up to the task, that is the challenge we are offering. We are asking you to throw pennies in the wishing well. Each penny is a video from the New American Media played for an hour with the volume on at least 1. So it's not just completely muted, but those hour, we are boosting our numbers and we're really close. We're really close to unlocking some of the things that have been restricted to us. And we would sure like that back. So thank you to everyone participating and donating and spending your time with us while we unpack the news. Shit, if it didn't feel like there were 1,000 stories to cover today. Am I crazy, or did it seem like there were 1,000 stories to cover? A ton going on. So, we'll just end this. Like I said, I had to deal with power issues over the past couple days. Check your gear, check your generator, check your solar, check your batteries, check your, imagine you needed to use the things that are super important. Are you ready? Do you know where things are? Are they charged? Are the batteries fresh? Do you need to go on Amazon and drop $100 and order a couple things? The time to do it is before you need it. Because if I were the deep state and I knew that my goose was cooked, you're damn right I'd release some sort of biological weapon. You're damn right I would cause some sort of global power outage, shut down the grid, knock us all back to the Stone Age and screw everything up. Oh, if I were a cornered rat on a sinking ship, I would do whatever it took to get out. So please prepare yourself is my message from based on yesterday and the past couple of days, needing to change wires and cables and just issues and setting up different, it took me out of my game. That's why I was broadcasting at 7:30 in the morning or 9 in the morning or whatever time it was the past couple days. You got to make do with what you got wherever you happen to be. Do the best you can, right? So get prepared, stay ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. That's a good conversation about getting in shape. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. But if you allow yourself to go, bleh, bleh, you blink and you've been on the wrong path for months. I know. I've definitely been in a different position than I am right now, and I'm still not where I'm aiming at going forward. But for now, I'm kind of doing a little bit better. But you see the horrific situation coming out of Minnesota. We'll see what new information we know tomorrow about madman and motive. Motive and madman. It's a good phrase. Madman and motive. But my advice to you is that you prepare yourself, whether you're a 13-year-old girl and you need to defend yourself against some creeps that won't stop stalking you, or whether you're at a church and some madman comes in and wants to ruin your day. Whatever the case may be, have a plan to prepare yourself. Have multiple tools at your disposal. It'd be better. It would behoove you to have some tools and to have some competence with the tools. Having a guitar in your closet doesn't make you a musician any more than having self-defense that's inaccessible will help you when you need it. So make sure you know how to play the instrument. All right, now. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. This was fun. We got to call back Hugh Hewitt, Flag Burning, Joe Biggs, Jeremy Brown. God, we went through a whole bunch of stuff, but that is my point. I have gone so far to try to deliver interesting, unique stuff. We're never going to stop trying to push the envelope and deliver something a little bit different. And your support means the world. So thank you all today. I appreciate you. I love you. And we will talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Oh, two quick programming notes. Number one, I will probably try to do a show on sports with Izzy later today. Keep your eyes peeled. Maybe we'll go live. If so, try to jump in the chat room. That'd be fun. And then next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Next Tuesday, 6 p.m., Strictly Football, Episode 1, Season 2. Mike Barra, Jim Mitchell, and myself. All right. I appreciate you. I love you. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.